Should be going live right now. Maybe. Like I do see it up. Let me get the chat figured out. Couple people impatient for the start. Hashtag unsub. Sorry about that. Let me get my window capture. We're live. Thanks, Java. Bear with me as I try to get the chat arranged. Still don't fully know what I'm doing here, as you can see. But I'm trying to make a little progress each day. Save some room down at the bottom in case someone oops. In case someone else wants to hop on. I guess I'll just fill it in for now and then pop someone in there later. How's everyone doing today? I've got some more slabs ready to be cracked. I've got a couple collection buys to go through, pull out cards. Most of the cracking I'm doing today is going to be for the PSA $18 tier. But I do have like this Wendigo PSA 6 that'll probably be a CGC 8 or 9 to crack to send to them. Yeah, peeked at you. We're getting pretty close. I think that should be live. That sub number, if anyone wants to be the guinea pig and try it out. Yeah, Pokemartin, sub counter like a true YouTuber. If someone, maybe being even more of a true YouTuber, if someone wants to test that out for me, drop a sub, see if we see the number go up. That'll be a great way to figure out if I knew what I was doing with that. I guess we'll see if we see in a minute. But yeah, every stream trying to get a little bit closer to the real deal. Wait till you see. Before I get into be right back. Gonna make 25 alt accounts. Oh, I just lost the sub. So yeah, it must work. It works live because somebody just unsubbed and then put it back for me. I appreciate that. Someone yeah. Someone just tested it. So no more unsubbing. We figured out that it works. Maybe just make the number go up now. We like big numbers, right? But yeah, figured I'd just chat a little bit to preface. Not gonna get right into the cracking. I'll do it a little bit quicker than last time though. I've got a pretty cool first time I've ever owned it. These are just the hollows, but versus the VS set. No, we've got a few people unsubscribing. I guess these are just the hollows and some of the hitters. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go through these and see if they're worth submitting. I did get like a complete set, so I do have all the non-hollows here too. Just the hollows came top loaded and some of the big hitters. But first time I've ever owned these. I'd never bought, never opened any of this stuff before, so it's just really cool set. I am not at all like a Japanese guy. I don't know a ton of history to rattle off for this on this set for you. But yeah, really cool. I've always been aware of it. A lot of Japanese, maybe all Japanese exclusive. Really beautiful set. And I own it for the first time now. Look at that Dragonite. Let me double check exactly what I paid for this one. I forget off the top of my head. I think it was 3,000-ish that I paid for that. Most of them are mint, but some of them are closer to near mint, and I think there were a couple that were damaged that were disclosed up front. Yeah, it looks like it was a big lot, and there was other stuff with it, so I think around 3,000 that I paid for that. I do have a BGS slab to try and crack today too. I tried finding this one, even if it's not a chance at a PSA 10, which it's really not. I think it'll be a PSA 9. So I'll probably give that one a go today. BGS is kind of nice since they're in the inner sleeves. A little bit safer. Pokey Martin says, quick thoughts. There was a jungle first box that went for $82.50 on eBay. Yeah. Pokey Rev did a recent video about the risks of buying sealed product on eBay, where he lost out because he had waited over 3 days to go to his P.O. box and grab the packs. And then when he opened them, whether it was 4 days later or 4 months later, because he was building up for that big YouTube video he did, opening one of every pack, eBay just straight up denied his claim for a refund because it was over the 3 days and then your protection goes away. So if I were to have been a buyer on that box, 100% I would have been cracking it the day I got it. The only reason I'd buy a first edition WotC box, and I have been buying some of them lately, if you've been following my channel, I would have 100% been buying that to break. At that price, if I was a big YouTuber who had the ability to crack packs for people to do box breaks, or if I was a big whatnot streamer, I would be gobbling up a lot of these, and they probably are. To me, it feels like you could buy that and you could crack it. Let me pull up a calculator here quick. But I need to be careful because that's the problem. If I move or minimize any of these screens, I lose the chat. It's kind of annoying because that has to be taking up the whole screen, and I don't think I can I don't know if I can put stuff over it, or it might pause. You didn't really miss anything, Alex. I'm just talking about what I'm going to be doing in this stream. Yeah, like Cameron just mentioned, someone like Island Grown can buy that and then crack the packs for 600. 600 would be crazy. I don't know if anyone can actually pull that. That's like over 20 grand for a box. But the chat, I like having it on the screen because that's kind of where I'm looking. And then for people who watch back later, I know that they can go to live chat and they can kind of do that on their own. But to me, like, that's always a bit of a pain to try to look at the live chat. And when it's right on the screen, I feel like I like that look. Rev was selling Japanese Rocket for $325. That's almost 20 grand for the box. I don't know what the box goes for, but there are 60 packs in the Japanese boxes. None of these are going to go directly for resubmission, Alex. These are all going to get cracked and then be sent raw. I did save from last week. I had 2 really ugly breaks, and I saved these so that I can show you how to best salvage them. One thing I did, I had a couple of them that broke this low, and then I kind of like, I held over on this, and I slid the card out. 2 cards I did that with last week, both got damaged. So 100%, that was really, really dumb, and don't do that. Let me see if I have them here. I think I do somewhere, but maybe I lost them. No, here they are. So yeah, anyone who tuned in last week, here's the Vileplume that the Vileplume, I basically had this situation, and I just said, whatever, let's just go for it. And I cracked it. And that's what happened to the Vileplume. But as far as the Stormfront Charizard, I don't know why I even have it in a sleeve because it's damaged now. But the Stormfront Charizard, it was cracked about right here. And I just decided to pull it out, and the plastic put that little indent on it where it rubbed when I was pulling it out. So 100%, if it cracks like this, do not just YOLO it and pull it out. because you'll likely indent it. Instead, what you should do, I'll show you here. I did it like 5 or 6 times off stream and it worked perfectly fine. A little bit scary because I'm using a knife. There's probably a better tool that I should be using. But yeah, you just go down the edge very carefully. And you crack it as you go. Let me try this little screwdriver thing I have. I feel like this is going to go poorly doing it on stream now. I'm getting nervous. Let me try it with this Charizard. I almost forgot my bag too. But yeah, once you get fully up aside, then you just make sure the case doesn't close back on itself. This is breaking in all different directions. So yeah, just work your way around the whole border. And then hopefully I was able to get that one out. Yeah. The knife, not recommended. Don't try this at home. The problem is the screwdriver that I use is way too wide. I'm just using like the tip of the knife. Ideally, I would have a screwdriver that's like half the width so that it could fit in the gap right there. But yeah, I think that one came out without any issues. Just for the sake of not getting demonetized or injured on YouTube, I won't do any more with the knife. But that just shows you not to try and... Don't try and separate the two halves to slide the card out, because I did that twice, and 2 for 2. 2 for 2, I damaged the card. Because I also had a rowlet that I did it. I had a rowlet that I did the same thing on, and you can see right down at the bottom. That's where I got the little indent. So 2 for 2, when I slid it out, I got indents. From now on, it's 100% going to be finishing the slab crack and then pulling them out. My desk is a huge mess because I've been working on submissions. Yeah, Ernesto. Shout out Ernesto. He did my thumbnail for my recent videos. He says he does this for a living. Yeah, professional. Do not attempt this at home. Professional on a closed course. Nice set of wiring screwdrivers would be perfect. Yeah, anything than what I just did with a knife would be better. So I'm probably not going to continue with that one for now. But yeah, let's I guess let's crack what's on screen here. I kind of want to do the BGS one. I've got a few random. I'm not going to sell these as CGC 8.5s. I looked them over quick. I'm pretty sure they're going to be PSA 9s, but even if they go to PSA 8s, whatever, or I'll just sell them raw. Some of these cards go pretty decent raw on like Troll and Toad. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, the office hours. I enjoy those. Might as well use Jonathan's message to shout out the Patreon while I'm cracking some slabs. Every Thursday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern, I do a 1 hour, we call it office hours. Jake does Tuesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. And those might be subject to change throughout the year. But for now, that's what we're doing. Basically, all we do, it's like a drop-in Q&A in our Discord, the Pokenomics Discord. Check the link in the description if you want a link to the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon. You'll get access to the Discord, as well as next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, we're going to be having a live monthly Zoom meeting where I'm going to do an in-depth analysis on, basically I'm going to update and go deeper on some earlier presentations I did on both estimated print runs for all English sets and a little bit further discussion about the PSA backlog and just the state of grading as a whole. How many cards PSA is currently grading, how many cards CGC and BGS are currently grading. So yeah, just kind of a month where I update to current months old presentations, but I also add more and I go deeper, tying in the pop report with the print run distribution. I think this way will be smoother, just kind of like cracking a bunch at once, the corners, and then breaking them apart. We're up to 50 people watching. If any of you who are watching, I mean, more likely you're probably subbed to me, but if not, we found out that sub thing, I succeeded in making that being a live updating thing. I don't think we've gone up since I started, but we did go down to 1970 and then back up to 1974. So it does work up and down. PSA cracks so much nicer generally than CGC. And the Wendigo, I'll show you. I didn't just do this. These cards are like really glossy, different look to them, but you'll see on the back, this is why it had gotten the 6. It's got that little impression there. So I had a Bunnyman CGC sample, CGC 6 sample that was similar damage. I sent it to CGC and it got a 9. So I'm hopeful. I think a 9 is... I was expecting more like an 8. But hopefully that Wendigo will go to like an 8 for me. I should put a helmet and safety glasses on. My gallon Ziploc bag is my safety glasses. But yeah, ideally if you're doing this, do it in with the proper PPE. Change the title to Cracking Slabs till I get to 2K subs. Yeah, Alex says he feels like people should be more annoyed with accepting submissions and with the backlog. I wish they waited longer for the 18. It landed on me unexpected. I did not, like, it's a fairly busy month for me with other things. I did not really want to have to submit several hundred cards, but my hand felt forced because I feel like PSA might... I think they might take in more cards this month than they grade. I feel like the backlog might slightly increase. We'll have to see, though. Not a very exciting, just non-holo rare. Cameron asked, how have sales volumes been for me lately? I've been selling more than I've ever sold since I've been back into the hobby, but it's obviously, I'm full-time now. I've only been full-time for a year, and clearly I'm selling more now than I did in 2020, not because the market's hotter, but just because I'm working harder on it. I'm doing more, I have more listings. But yeah, I sell a lot of modern sealed, ultra modern sealed through like Troll and Toad Evo. I sell a lot of modern and vintage slabs through my eBay. I sell random stuff periodically through eBay, through PWCC, Heritage. And sales are good. Like I've been really happy with where we're at, where I'm at with sales. But yeah, Aiden says the $30 must not have been enough. At $30, I personally sent nothing. Alex asks if my damaged Stormfront. The Rowlet, probably not worth. Yeah, they're probably not worth grading. At CGC, they could probably get 8s, but I'd probably be better off just selling them raw. The issue with selling them raw is you might get someone who doesn't notice the damage, even if I put damaged in title. So I would worry a little bit about that. Reach out to me. Send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email to my email address link below. I'd be open to selling them. I don't know what they'd be worth, but they're in a weird spot where if they were gradable, I would just grade them. I need to get shifted a little bit. But yeah, shoot me a message and I'll potentially sell those. There we go. Ever thought of selling slabs on whatnot? Not me personally. Maybe. My main hesitation, honestly, for not being on whatnot was that I thought you would have to do night streams for them to be successful. But given the fact that I'm pulling 50 viewers right now, last week it blew my mind. I was able to pull like 100 viewers at once on YouTube in the middle of a day. So maybe I would be able to get enough people to make it worthy to do whatnot like during the weekdays, because I wouldn't want to do weeknights or weekends because that's like family time. I try to keep all this confined to working hours as much as I can. So yeah, that was my main hesitation to not do whatnot. And now since I didn't do it right out of the gate, I feel like I would be too far behind. There's so many people out there with so many followers. Would I be able to keep up? I have no idea. I probably won't. I probably won't ever create one. There's only like a small subset of cards that I think would do best on there, and honestly, I feel like it would be the damaged ones. And I'm just not crazy about live selling damaged cards and having to like try to upsell them or. This is fun hanging out on YouTube. I'm not directly selling anyone anything, even though Alex might be buying some of my damaged cards. Kind of ironic right after I say that. But yeah, I don't know. Whatnot doesn't feel like my style, I guess, but it's cool for box breaks. My favorite thing with it is box breaks. Yeah, Alex, I have Discord. Discord is weird. It's really hard to DM someone, and maybe it's because I have weird privacy settings or something. It's hard to message someone without being friends with them or without having a shared server with them. So like I'm in the E4 server, I'm in Pokenomics server, I'm in a few different ones. I don't know if we have any overlap. But email's ideal, I think. Yeah, so retro, some of what's being cracked today might not go for 18. I do have a small stack. Like these ones are too much. This is actually the one that I just pulled on that live stream the other night with the 12 Poketubers. And then these other ones are just too high. Even as PSA 9s, they're going to be well over the $200 limit. So those ones are probably going to go at 30 or 50. But some of these, I might crack them. I might look closer at them and say, yeah, I want to wait for 10 or 12. I don't really know. I'll have to just see. One thing that I am going to run into, I worry that once this 18 is done, not trying to create FOMO or anything, but I worry that they're going to get a lot of cards. Once the month is over, the $18 special is over, I think they're going to shut it down for a while. I think the cheapest option will be 30 again for at least a few months. So I'm trying to get out as much as I can, but I only have another 10 days to get cards out. So yeah, I'm just running tight against the clock, trying to squeeze everything I can out, everything that I have that I want to send out. Sorry if that's really loud when I throw those, but Yeah, that live stream Charizard, I'll pull it out so I can show. It's really clean. I think it has a shot of the 10. I'm torn. I contemplated sending it to CGC because I intend to just keep it forever. I pulled it myself. It's really cool to have a story behind the cards. And it's super clean. I think it might get the 10 at PSA. But if I have to pay $600 to grade a card that I'm going to keep forever, that's kind of annoying. It is what it is. Obviously, I still want the 10. But it will feel a little bad in a way, like paying so much for a card that I'm not going to be selling. I do have like a PC. I have a BGS 9. And I have CGC, MAP. I've got like SGC. I've got like 4 or 5 different grading companies and 9 as part of my PC. I'll just sell all those if this hits the 10 for my PC. Yeah, thanks everyone for hopping in. Up to almost 60 people now. It's unfortunate for people in Europe. Hopefully someday they'll open a branch where they at least take the cards in Europe, whether they grade them there or not. But I think Ludkin's actually just turned over to like PSA UK. So I think they're taking the cards in over there and then shipping them to the US for grading. I don't know how much easier that makes it. Hopefully it makes it easier for people though. Yeah, Josh, I thought about doing CGC with a pedigree. The thing that honestly kept me away from it, if I look at the card, it's probably a CGC 9, maybe a 9.5, and it's probably, like, I genuinely think it's got a decent shot of the PSA 10. I think I said earlier in my office hours that maybe a 30% chance at a PSA 10, 70% PSA 9. If I'm being honest, like, to me, the card is a 10. Like, it feels like better than 50% chance it should be a 10. I just know that, like, they look at, I think they look at Charizards tougher. So if you're trying to find something, you'll always find something. And if I were to send it to CGC and it got like an 8.5, I would just like, that would be painful. That would, I say it's the card, it's not the label, but like having that label on it would be painful. So I decided to go for PSA. I do have, I think I'm going to send it at the $50 tier. And I do have a handful of other cards that are worthy of going at the $50 tier. So like these are both pack fresh. I pulled these in the past. I bought 2 Rocket First Edition boxes recently, and to verify the boxes were legitimate, I opened 1 heavy pack from each, and I pulled 2 Dark Blastoises. And then this one is one I cracked out last week that was a PSA 8. Yeah, and then what would the pedigree be? Like, that was another thing. If I did put a pedigree, what would I even call it? You only get so much space to put it, and it's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with PSA, as much as it pains me. Dark Lava Lizard, thoughts on vanilla Coke? I'm just Coca-Cola for me. None of the cherry, vanilla, none of the flavors. I'm just traditional Coke. So yeah, let me pull out these. I don't even know. Do people say VS or do people say versus usually? That's how, hopefully that's not too cringy of a question. Is it the Japanese versus set or the Japanese VS set? I feel like I've heard it both ways and I don't even know which one's proper. Brat's first live stream appearance pedigree. Will we see the #1 on this stream? I'm assuming you mean the #1 Pikachu. One, I'm definitely not cracking that ever. It feels like it did well to get a 9 because it has a weird back edge thing that some of the so people are saying VS. Is that like, I'm assuming when they write VS, I'm assuming they're saying like sound it out to versus. Some people type VERSUS, some people typed VS. But yeah, the trophy Pikachu won't be coming out. 1, because I'm not gonna crack it. 2, because it doesn't live here. That is one of the cards that it's like, I talked about it in my trophy video a while back. I love owning those cards, but it's like bittersweet in that I know I own them, but I don't get to see them at all. Like I see them when I go to that bank and into that safe deposit box, and it's just like, it's a weird thing. I like cards that I get to hang out with and see day to day. Like, this is one of my favorite cards, PC card forever, because of the memes and because it's worth very, very little, almost nothing. This is like the ideal collection card because it's just, yeah, the memes and not being worried about someone. I mean, it would suck if someone stole it from me, but I wouldn't be financially in rough shape. How much for that Karen's Umbreon? Yeah, these ones are almost certainly going to get graded. I haven't looked closely at them yet, but I did get a bunch of pictures from the seller. I think they were, I forget which one, honestly. It's so hard to look. I think it's got something going on with one of the corners. Yeah. The problem is it's hard to make it so you guys can see well and then also see well myself. The card's got a little nick going on the top corner. So I don't know. I feel like it's not one of those things that's bad enough that PSA would give it a 6. So this one will probably get sent. I don't know where to put all these. And then as far as like I don't even know what these are worth. I'll need to look up prices. Like I'll put them in a grading pile if they're gradable. But I honestly don't even know what they're worth in PSA 9 or 10, all of them. This one actually has a little dent. Maybe this is one of the ones that he sent me a picture of the dent. So this one's definitely not getting graded, at least not for 18. Maybe with CGC, because it's a 6 at PSA at best. Do you get grading as a write-off? So the way grading works for me, if I buy a card for 100, spend 50 grading it, and then sell it for 200. This is not tax advice, but very oversimplified. Say my fees to sell it were $10, so 100 plus 50 to grade it, plus $10 in fees, and I sell it for 200. I make a $40 net profit that's taxable after fees, after grading fees and all that. So yeah, it is like a write-off in that sense, in that I don't pay taxes on like that comes out of my gross sales to lead to my net taxable sales, if that makes sense. But again, consult with your accountant for all your tax needs. This card's got a little something going on at the top corners too, and it's an energy. So this one I'm gonna set aside into the we'll figure it out later thing. Yeah, thanks Retro. 23 subs to 2K people. Hit the sub button if you haven't. What are you doing? Thanks, Retro. I guess I'm going the least exciting way on these. I'm going back to front. Beautiful card, though. I mean, look at that rainbow energy. Same one that's in Rocket. This one looks gradable, so this one's gonna go into the grading pile. We got Tyranitar here, one of my favorite Pokemon. Again, it's just really cool. I've seen these all before. Like I've seen these online. I have owned Karen's Umbreon. That card I did get graded before in a collection, but I think every other card I've never owned, so it's like owning and seeing them in person for the first time. They are, a lot of them are beautiful cards. So that Tyranitar looks gradable too. I think the Karen Umbreon I said was gradable too. We got the my son is 4. So peeked at you. Peeked at you asking where Snorlax went. I've had a couple people message me, email me, like, hey, I see you changed your background. Where did Snorlax go? He went on a sabbatical. So he had been working hard for so long. I figured he earned some time off. Maybe someday he'll come back on the stream, have a nice tan from all his time off laying on the beaches. But for now, that's where he is. I do miss him. He was a fun office mate to hang out with. Have I ever owned any English versus cards? No. I've held multiple sets of them. When I went to Charlotte, I did get to see some amazing cards. So yeah, that was great. That was really cool to do. But I don't know that I'll ever own those. For me, like the Tropical Breeze would be the one that I would want the most. That card is awesome. I think Peeked at You will really love that we're talking about English verses in here. Oh, yeah, look at this one. This one is the Suicune. Suicune is horribly rough. This would be a CGC if anywhere. Man, my focus is not... There we go. So a horrible roller line or whatever that is. Really bad dents at the top. This would be a PSA 6 100%. Like PSA 6 or less. So this one's going to go into the left pile. Maybe it's worth sending to CGC. Maybe it can get a 7 or an 8. I have no idea. But definitely not PSA for 18 bucks. Snorlax sabbatical. Is this old inventory you had, or did you buy these raw from someone? So the Versus set, I just bought. I just bought this as a collection from a friend that I met on E4 years ago. Actually met him at Worlds 18. I forget if I met him at 18 and then saw him again at 19. But I've hung out with him at a couple different conventions, and this one looks pretty clean. So yeah, this collection literally just came in last week. I would have done like a YouTube video. That's what I had been doing. But I think what I'm going to do moving ahead is when a collection or something like this comes in, just show it in my live. Show it on my live stream, talk about it. Do one pre-recorded video a week and then one live stream for a few hours once a week as well. I really like the live format. Get a really good turnout. I mean, we have 80 people watching right now. Kind of mind-blowing. I wouldn't have ever thought that doing a midday stream. I really appreciate everyone coming in and hanging out because it's a lot of fun. Yeah, this Roku looks pretty clean. There might be there's something going on. There's something going on in that top left corner, but I don't think it's like a PSA 6 worthy thing. So I think Roku will get sent. Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet's got a little issue there at the top. That's probably 6 worthy. Yeah, a lot of people bored at work. This is work for me, so I'm on the clock, but unfortunately I pay myself, so I'm not to the point yet where YouTube gives a lot of ad revenue or anything like that. I do have the affiliate link down below, which does help out. But I think there's a lot of people out there watching right now at work who are making a much better hourly rate than myself, which is collectible conversations. Is that you, John? Is that Radar? Is that a sneak peek at the Collectible Conversations channel that you and Squeaks might be reviving someday? I see Squeaks posted some videos the other day for the first time in quite a while. That Tyranitar looks pretty nice. Yeah, your average player, he's eating dinner, so he's not at work. He's in Norway. Shout out to the Europe, EU, and I guess the worldwide, the international gang. I think times like this are much appreciated by some of our international people who every time us Americans go live on a 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. time slot on the East Coast, it's not very great for a lot of international people. So yeah, very international friendly timing. Hey Echo, how's it going? If you haven't yet and you want to ask Echo a question, he's going to be our next guest on Pokeflips. So go back to last week's Pokeflips and leave a comment. Leave a comment for that. That just reminded me I haven't done a highlight for last week's podcast. But yeah, leave a question and I can ask it to Echo in the next Pokeflips podcast. I'm just messaging Nick quick to have him remind me to do a highlight for tomorrow for Pokeflips, or we'll probably do a YouTube short for it. Yeah, so yeah, now Nick will know to remind me. I think he's still on vacation though. Continuing on, we got Sneasel here. Nick's too busy shipping 99-cent cards. Yeah, I think he's been on vacation all week. Slacking over here. I'm grinding out YouTube live streams, making submissions. He's probably out on a golf course somewhere. That one looks pretty clean. Yeah, Echo, I'm looking forward to it. The live streams or the podcasts are always fun, especially with a guest. Peak that choose trying to buy out Echo's world cards in the chat. Have to start an auction in there. Throw out some bids. Go check out Echo on Whatnot as well. I think he does some early morning live streams. Murkrow. Really, really cool arts. Yeah, Echo, that's the Charizard that I pulled. That's the Charizard I pulled from that chat with like the 4x3, everyone in it. Do I do sales off eBay through Instagram? I honestly, yeah, peeked at you. No, IRS, no, I don't. I occasionally do sales off eBay. It's honestly more of a hassle than it's worth most of the time. Like the amount of additional messages that I have to do. People see $100 card and they want me to sell it. Hey, can I get it for 90 through PayPal goods and services? The amount of extra time it takes for me to go over there, the amount of extra time it takes me to print a label when I sell through PayPal, 99% of what I do is on eBay. So to do something off eBay, it's just like, if it's higher value, it can make sense. This scissor has got a messed up corner, so that's like an auto 6 or less. That one's not going to be graded. But yeah, the amount of extra time and effort that it is, reach out to me through Instagram if you're after something. But unless it's like fairly higher tier, it's generally not worth it for the extra hassle. What's the latest on my Bigfoot collection? Shiny light bulb asks. I've got the Fortnite Bigfoot. I've got some random ones. I think it was you, Shiny, that linked me to some. I don't even know what they were. I have not added anything to my Bigfoot collection in a while. I've got the MetaZoo, I've got the Fortnite, couple random other like Marvel things, but yeah, that's very low priority, especially with $18 PSA open only for a month. Josh says, wish we could see everyone's reactions in that video, but I was highlighted. Yeah, I completely dropped the ball. I wish, because I was in OBS using my virtual camera for that opening, I wish I had just locally recorded, because what was happening was he highlighted me so everyone on the stream could see in case I pulled something nice. But on my end in OBS, in Zoom, I mean, I had the gallery view opened. So I had to like manually click back to get the gallery view open. If I had recorded that though, it would have been so great to see everyone's reactions. Because honestly, when I was opening it, I was looking at the cards that I was opening. I wasn't looking over at Zoom. So I don't even know what people's reactions were. Kind of unfortunate. I actually have a short that's being made right now. So yeah, it's just my reaction. There's no reaction from everybody. I think it would have made that better too. Definitely, if I could go back, I would have clicked record on my gallery Zoom. Yeah, Andy, reach out to me on Instagram. We could probably figure something out. Would love to hear your thoughts on the podcast that you pulled to Charizard. Seems insane. Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about it. If somebody asks about it, we'll definitely talk about it. If nobody asks about it, I might forget to mention it. It'll probably be gone to PSA by then. There's a new Fortnite secret lair up today. I did see something about Fortnite with Magic, the secret lair thing, but I know very, very little, almost nothing about Magic. I don't know if that's going to be a good buy or not. I used to play Fortnite. I kind of want to play a little bit more at some point, but I haven't in quite a while. This one's pretty off-center on the back, but it looks fairly clean, I think. Maybe a little something at the middle there. I don't know if that's a bend. I'll probably look at these closer off stream before I send them. But there's all the verses set. Lord Pokebloke says if he makes it to Denver, he's got a new Bigfoot to give to me for the collection. I appreciate that. I hope it was really cheap. There's so many cheap cards out there. Hopefully it's not too expensive, but I'll be interested to see what that is. Would you submit EX era reverse holos of mid-tier / low-tier Pokemon at 18, assuming all are 9+ potential? I'm so on the fence. Yeah, Reeks, I have some stuff like that. Like I have a complete PSA 9 Delta species that I won last year. All the reverse holos. I think I sent some of the big hitter reverse holos, but I didn't send them all. We'll actually see when I get to it later in this stream. I went to one of them. I can't even show it all because it's a whole box. It's an 800 count box, but there's a lot of EX era in here. I'll talk later in the stream a little bit about like, maybe I'll just grab it now because it's timely since you're asking about it. I think mostly what I have is like the regular holo sets, but somewhere in here I do have, hopefully I don't pour them out. I do have a complete Legend Maker reverse holo set, it looks like. This camera's having a... There we go. It's having a tough time focusing. So yeah, what I did yesterday to prep for this stream, I wanted to have a bunch of stuff to go through. I think this thing is double sleeved too, but I have like a stack of monster boxes almost from the floor to the ceiling, taller than me. And it's really hard to get to the bottom stuff because it's under tens of thousands of cards. But one of the higher boxes was like all EX era. I bought sets years ago. I used to buy entire collections base to current, and EX era was just not worth doing anything with, except for like the EXs and the gold stars, which I did at the time. But back when I did that, these reverse hollows weren't even being graded. They were being, still today, a lot of these sell for a few bucks in near mint to mint condition, but graded, some of these sell for quite a bit. So like this is a complete double sleeved mint legend maker reverse hollow set. Do I grade just the hitters? Do I grade all of them? I really don't know. But yeah, like that, this is one of the things that I brought out for today's stream to go through, just to talk about. Emo says it's one of the top 3 for reverse hollows. Ryan says some of the Delta species reverses are surprisingly expensive. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know either. He said Cradley is one of the cards that he has. I hate double sleeved cards. Like, please don't double sleeve your cards and sell them to me. This one's actually, I guess that one's only single sleeved. But yeah, I always get so nervous. Those perfect fits or whatever, they hold the cards so tight. Like this has a slight curve. Well, it has a pretty decent curve on it. But you put it into a card saver, that baby will flatten out. It won't affect the grade. This card looks... This card looks pretty minty. A little bit of whitening on the back. But it's like most likely 9, chance out of 10. And that's how this whole set is, I think. Should I grade this whole reverse hollow set at $18? Feels like way too much, but I'll have to look closer. Like all these are going to get graded someday, but I think 18 is like too high. I want 10. I want 10 for these. I've been going for the Legend Maker Kabutops. The reverse hollow, Cameron, or the regular hollow? Yeah, Java also hates perfect fits. Maybe these aren't double sleeved. Maybe these are all just single sleeves. So, I know some of the cards I have in here though are double sleeved. Cameron wants me to submit these so I can sell him some of these low pop reverse hollows. Like this one's not a 10. You got whitening up at the top back. But this one feels like a pretty clean 9. I mean, I've graded these. Yeah, I do know Cameron. This one I've graded 10s that were worse. So this one could get a 10. Maybe it's a 10% chance at a 10, 90% chance, or 80% chance at a 9, 10% chance at an 8, something like that. I really don't want to pay 18 for that. Let me see if I can look quickly what the PSA 9 reverse hollow goes for. I need to make sure I don't do it in my tab with the chat. Who let Ray in the chat? Tabs. We're just trying to get a PSA submission together, Ray. Looks like this Kabutops, I should have it on screen still. Looks like this Kabutops and PSA 9. There's a 200 that shows sold, but it's still listed. It was listed for buy it now or best offer. It shows sold, best offer accepted, but then it's still listed, so they must not have paid, which is really annoying. Yeah, if I pull up a browser full screen over this, it stops updating the chat, which is annoying. Chemo says, I'd want to grade them sequentially if I were you. Maybe even wait for $10 if it's the full set. It'd be amazing to have a sequential full set. I am a big proponent of like full set premium is not a thing. No one, like, it sounds cool. Grade them all in a row. But like some of them are going to be 8s, some of them are going to be 10s. No one wants that. No one's going to pay a premium for that, in my opinion. I'm always going to sell them individually. So even though it's a bit of a, like someone spent the time to put this all together and then to pull it apart, piece it out, it's almost a bit of a shame. But it's the way to go. It's the way to financially optimize. Like that's just what it is. Like almost nothing garners a premium selling as a complete set. Cameron says they go for around 80, maybe like 50 to 80. 40 seems so cheap. Yeah, if they're going for 50 to 80, I really don't want to pay 18 to grade it. I really want to get 10 or less. Yeah, if you're taking home 32 after fees, I don't know what these sell for raw. It probably still makes more sense to grade them and sell them for 40. It probably makes sense to grade them and sell them for 40 in PSA 9 more so than selling them raw. So just kind of stuck having to grade them, which is annoying. But yeah, I don't know. Like these cards I'm going to have to think on. But I've got so many cards. Let me pull out some other stacks. I don't know if I want to go through that whole stack because I don't even think at 18 I'll send them. But like, here's some more of what I'm working with. These guys have had their time on screen. Let me get them off screen now. We might have someone hopping in. I might have to shuffle around some of the camera angles and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get someone else popped on screen. So yeah, I have though, while we're waiting for that. Let me move the Versus series. We've got the complete reverse hollow legend maker. And then we've got like complete hollow sets. I don't think they're all complete, but a lot of them are. So there's Ruby and Sapphire. They're definitely not all complete. There's Ruby and Sapphire. There's Sandstorm. I think these are all in order. Like there's EX Dragon. Torkoal is definitely double sleeved. So some of these are double sleeved. Some of them aren't sleeved at all. There's Team Magma, Team Aqua. Then we've got Hidden Legends. And these are all, I remember this collection that I bought years ago. We've got Fire Red, Leaf Green. This collection was like base to current, and it was almost everything. All the chase cards, everything. I bought multiple collections like this years ago. Team Rocket Returns. EX Deoxys. And at the time, I threw these into a monster box because, and I have all the non-hollows, all the commons, uncommons, all that stuff. But it just wasn't worth doing anything with. They were going for almost nothing. I think Echo has a lot of cards similar to this because he just had them in binders at the time. They were never really worth selling individually. They were never worth grading. And now we're like at that point. So I'm hopping on a call right now with Retrospecs, and I'm going to try to get them on screen. Can you hear me, Retro? Maybe Nick can't hear me. Okay. I'm going to try to get this sorted quick. Maybe it's because I'm in streamer mode. Can you hear me now or no? Sorry guys, 1 minute. I'm trying to get my my Discord figured out so that I can get Retro into the chat with us like I had John last week. Yeah, I'm working on getting Retro in. Can you hear me now or no? Hmm. I think I have. For some reason he can't hear me. I think it's on your end. I'm gonna try to get that sorted with him and get him on screen. I can actually okay, he's gonna reboot Discord, but yeah, we're gonna try to get Retrospecs in the stream to hang out as well. Appreciate everyone bearing with me. Jack says, "Come on, Rusty, you can do it." I think Rusty's also live right now. He's trying to pull. He's trying to pull the rest of VMAX Climax. Can you hear me now? My input device in Discord is definitely my Blue Yeti. I think.
Oh, yep.
You hear me now? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay,
cool.
I'm gonna get headphones so that I can play you through the stream. Try to, at least. Bear with me as everyone as I'm trying to get Retro on the stream. Figuring these things out on the fly. Can you talk again, Nick? Yep, so now I can hear you through my headphones. So do you want to go on video again so I can pop you on screen? I should be able to go back to my window capture. You're going to see Retro, everybody, popping on. Okay, let me not show all my Discord DMs and everything. Oh man. That's the scary thing about lives is like you're live and it's all right out there. I think I just showed my friends list. No issue there. But yeah, we've got Retro on screen now. We're going to lose a little bit of chat, which is fine. Let me make my head smaller. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys can't hear him yet. So I need to do I think if I just turn my desktop audio on, can you just like I know it's kind of awkward, but can you just like talk a little bit? To
Yeah.
let us know in the chat if you hear Retro. It'll be 30 seconds behind or whatever.
Jack Meeker says, "Dang, it's Mac Miller Jr." That's facts.
Oh man.
What's up, man? I see you're 23 subs away from 2K. It looks like. Pretty sweet.
I appreciate you giving that the shout. There we go. I got the chat straightened out now. We'll just have a little bit less chat to look at, but these are the headphones that I wear when I'm mowing my lawn.
Yeah, I feel you. So
I
are you splitting your submissions up like in between multiple packages to try to get like different graders, or are you just saying like it's not even worth it, like the extra time, like just send it all off at once, or like what's your thinking on that?
I've never been I've never been like playing a game of how I submit them. I just send them. If I'm grading 50 Greninja Gold Stars, I don't try to do 10 per submission for 5 submission really. I guess the only reason I would do that is like if it is one card, instead of getting all at once, maybe you just get like a nice stream coming in over time. Like I can see that argument, but I know some people do it for like trying to get the higher grade out of the grader. Like, oh, I submit Japanese first, so all those get tens, and then I do a few English cards, but then I go back to Japanese. Like, or some people do English first because those look rougher, and then all the Japanese at the back will all get tens guaranteed. Like, everyone has their own theory, and I don't really subscribe to any of them personally. Maybe it's a thing, but I don't really know. Like how little time I have too. Like we have 10 days left at 18. I'm just gonna get out everything I can, however I can get them out.
Yeah, I'm actually going through some like F1 stuff to send out right now, trying to figure out what's worth grading. I got all my like Pokemon and TCG, CCG stuff sorted, but I need to send off some sports too.
I don't know if you do you have like OBS virtual camera to where you can show me your desk too, or no? Or can you
It might be a little high tech for me.
okay. I was gonna say if you're going through stuff, I can pop yours up on the screen. Unless that would be too much. I don't know. Maybe that would be too much. What I'm going through, what you're going through. We
I
could do
can go
like a
grab I can go grab a grading pile at least, show you guys. I am gonna split it up a little bit. Um, but some of it is because it's like some stuff is more vintage and I don't know. I mean, I guess in my mind I'm thinking like maybe they grade on a little bit of a curve, and if I put like old back Japanese in with like modern um like Dragon Ball Z cards and stuff like that, that they might be like, these are way mintier than these, and then not give me the greatest grades, but that could just be BS. So
yeah,
who
every
knows?
grader is human, and there's like 100 different humans that grade. So I don't think there would be like one formula that just works for everybody. Like everyone's gonna be different. It probably depends more on like how their night went before. Did they just get dumped? Did they just get engaged? Did they you know but yeah, I think most of these it really is annoying. Like this EX Deoxys Gyarados was just double sleeved. I hate it. Look at this card though. Like this is probably gonna go at 18.
Yeah, that card's sweet. I like that art a lot. I like Deoxys. I was talking to Josh on the podcast, and he was saying he wasn't really into the Deoxys reverse holo, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I actually kind of like it. I'm sending some of these like other languages of the world's cards at
Yep.
18 because they're still pretty minty. They just don't make sense to send at like a 30 or a 50 tier because in nines there may be like I don't know, like 85 to 100 or something like that, and then maybe you get a little more if it's in a 10, like 200 or something. So
Yeah. Yeah, I my ideal like I would like to submit stuff only. Like I want to give PSA as little money as possible. But everything I submit I would like to be 200 in a PSA 9. But even when it's not, like even if it's 50 in a PSA 9, it just makes so much more sense to send anyways. You do got to be careful. You do got to be careful that like if it's worth 50 in a PSA 9 today, is it only going to be worth 20 when it comes back? And could you just sell it
yeah,
raw today for 15? Um, Clearly, if you're paying 18 to grade it and you could just sell it raw for 20, like there's no sense grading it to sell it for 20. But cards like this, I don't think are at huge risk of it. Ultra modern or like even some vintage. non-hollows are at higher risk of that, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of the reason, I mean, I don't have anything I think that's gonna get like super hammered. I mean, I have stuff like this, like the Entei and like a Game Boy or like this Neo Premium file kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot of it out there, and so I'm like, yeah, it could drop in price. I don't think it's gonna get so hammered that it's gonna be like, oof, I'm in a bad spot when I get it back from grading. But I am really worried that like there's a lot of stuff out there that people are sending at 18. I think prices on a lot of stuff are going to drop. Honestly, as like an investor, like a long-term holder, whatever, I feel like you need to wait for the 30 wave and the 18 wave. Like, people were all saying, "Oh, well, the November 2020 backlog is being worked through, whatever, and like, these cards aren't really getting graded as much and blah blah blah." And so they're feeling safer about the pop reports. But I've seen people with like first edition hollows that they're waiting to send at 18. Like, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
I would wait. You know what I mean? I would wait. Like, I wouldn't like FOMO into. I mean, you could probably still catch deals right now, but I just think that there's a lot more decent stuff out there than people expect. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, this stuff was all mass printed set cards. Um, it's tough. Even the older ones, even the mid era, even these ones I'm showing right now, mid era when the print runs were a fraction of what they are today. They're still mass printed English set cards that were everywhere. Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of copies were printed. How many are in landfills? How many are still sealed? How many we'll never know, but like a lot of these pops could go up a lot because like I said, I bought this collection 5 years ago. These cards were $1 or $2 on Troll and Toad. Still today, like what is this card on Troll and Toad? Let me just look it up. Slacking from EXDoxys. 10 bucks maybe? Is it even that?
Yeah. Yeah, but even if you like get it near mint or whatever, it's not really going to be near like mid
Tro-
gen is really hard to find perfect condition, well, maybe not back then, but it is at least now, I would say.
yeah, like Troll and Toad right now, and it's Troll and Toad near mint. It's not PSA 9, but like Troll and Toad, it's 15 bucks. I'm sure you could find TCG Player, eBay. You could probably buy 50 copies of this for like 15 and under. In that, maybe there's no tens. I mean, honestly, maybe there's no tens. Maybe there's only a few nines. The rest are six, sevens, eights. I don't know. But like, should that card be? It's probably. Let me see what it is in a PSA 10. Um, should it be $300 on a PSA 10 and $80 on a PSA 9? It's hard
I
to
don't know
say.
about 80. I would say more like 40 or something like that,
And
like to get a 9, because it's like even pack fresh, it's like it's probably a toss up between an 8 and a 9, but it's not a super popular Pokemon, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
yeah, that's why I wanted to look at this one because it's like I don't personally know of a. I don't even know if it's slacking or slaking. Slaking probably.
I think it is slacking. I
So
think
there's
that's the
only
joke because he's a sloth.
oh, so there's 12 tens and there's 24 nines. Looks like the last 10 that sold. Looks like we haven't had a sale in well over a year, and it was 60 bucks last time it sold as a 10. So it would go for more than that, I'm sure. Only 12 tens and 24 nines because no one's grading it. Because 5 years ago when I got this collection, this card today it's 15 on Troll and Toad. Back then it was probably $2, and the pops were probably 0 or 2 in 9 and 10 because nobody cared. Nobody wanted to grade it. If I had graded a 10, it would have sold. It would have not sold for $30 5 years ago in PSA 10. So
So do you think that's because that like a majority of the people that were in the hobby back then collecting graded stuff were primarily like interested in just first edition WotC and trophy cards, and then when things boomed, like do you think people just went to stuff that was like low pop that they could get for cheap, or do you think that there's just more genuine interest in all generations rather than just like Gen 1 now, if that makes sense?
I think the natural progression is like your nostalgia. So most people got back in like base jungle, fossil rocket, and then like it's like a funnel. Like everyone gets back in to their childhood, and we're getting to the point where this is current people's childhood or some amount of people's childhood. But yeah, like most people start here, base unlimited, and then some people work their way down the funnel to mid gens, current sets. Top of the funnel would also be like the two most accessible things are very vintage, like base unlimited, and then modern, like ultra modern. When I got back in, it was Phantom Forces. So my two biggest sets that I was interacting with were base unlimited, fossil jungle, and then like Phantom Forces because they were the easiest ones to get. And as you work your way down the funnel, like I made it everywhere. I literally went to gold stars, level X's. I made it to every English set, and once I did all that, then I got to like to the very bottom of the funnel. I got to like the trophy Pikachu's. I got to the Japanese promos. You're less likely. Oh, I full screened a window so the chat stopped moving. Um, but yeah, like it's like a funnel. So the further down you go, this is pretty far down the funnel, but it's not as far down the funnel as like obscure unlimited edition legend cards, Japanese or Japanese promo cards or trophy cards even.
So how long, like, okay, well, two things. Like, one, what percentage of collectors do you think get deep down the rabbit hole? And like, how long would you say it takes somebody to get, y- like,
Yeah.
assuming that they're really engaged, or like, how long do you think it takes people to get to the rare stuff, the different generations, not just like the stuff that they grew up with? Like, what is your, feeling on that when people like get back in or whatever?
I think it's a great question. Anytime I'm asked a question like that, instead of 100% speculating and guessing what I think, I'll just tell you what it took for me. And I think that's a more useful thing than guessing on what it might be for the average person. So, one thing I will guess on one, like we are in the 1% of the 1% as far as like engagement and getting into the nitty gritty, getting way into the weeds on different releases and variations. And but like me, I got back in 2014. By early 2015, I was playing in WotC and I was playing in XY, Phantom Forces, and so on because they were the most accessible. By 2015, early 2015, my goal within a few months, as I learned about all the sets I missed, was to open every box that I missed, and it was to get all the chase cards in PSA 9. So like within the first year, I was in the entire English set card space, and I was already in the grading space. It took me until I completed my goal of opening every box and getting almost every chase card in PSA 9. That's when I first started looking at Japanese. So it took me like 4 years starting with Japanese. Most people don't set such a lofty, crazy goal, I think, getting back into the hobby. So maybe some people get into it quicker. Some people never get into it. What percent do, what percent don't? I have no idea. But like, yeah, I think sharing my own anecdote is more valuable than, oh, I think 32% of people will get into it within 6 months, and then 17% more will get into it within 2 years. And I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on the WotC stuff or whatever. Like, I opened a little bit of E series as a kid, but I really like the mid-gen stuff a lot, like even more so than the stuff I grew up with. So like the nostalgia definitely like brought me back, but now I feel more engaged, or I'm more interested in like learning about things that like I didn't even know existed. So I don't know, just interested to hear how that works for other people. And obviously, like, only like your business, like a good percentage of your business is like flipping modern, grading modern. So a certain like a large percentage of people are just kind of interested in the surface level or the easy accessible part of the hobby, and that's totally fine for sure. And then obviously like a certain percentage of people do both, like they like modern, they like vintage, whatever. It's just interesting to see like where people go over time, because for me, like, I can't do the same thing over and over and over and over. Like I have to constantly, be like learning new things and there's just so many like new interesting cards and yeah, anyways. Sorry for the little rant, but
No, I love rants. I love rants and tangents and just rambly conversations. It's the content I make and it's the content I like to consume.
I mean, I
I
played. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go
I,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, when I went through that monster box that I had labeled EX era, I had way more than I thought I had. Like, in the grand scheme of Pokemon, in the grand scheme of these pops, there's not many cards that I have like more than 2 or 3 of. But I was very pleased with myself for having what I had. There's a lot of like beautiful cards in here, and I didn't remember having so many.
Yeah, man, those pops are gonna get massacred. I feel bad for people that bought at the top on some of this mid-gen stuff. It's cool though, like, and I think interest will work into it over time. I really do. Like, I played Ruby and Sapphire probably the most out of any of the games. I really like Gen 3. I think it's slept on. It's interesting to me that like Rayquaza cards are generally so expensive, but then pretty much everything else in Gen 3 is like cheap outside of, like obviously like the gold stars or the legendaries and stuff like that. But I don't know, like I feel like people really like Absol and Salamence and yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes Gen 3 gets slept on a little bit.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I did have Sapphire. I don't think I ever beat it, honestly. I'll have to pop it in and see if the battery still works. But I played pretty far into it. I'm pretty sure I got to where I caught Kyogre, but I'm not 100%. Um, Crystal, I mean, Yellow Crystal were my games, my main ones growing up. But yeah, like I had multiple, and this isn't even to my binders yet. Like I haven't even rated my binders. Once I get a minute, I'll go over and I'll grab. I'm not positive, but I think all the ones I pack pulled from when I opened one box of each set, I think those are all still in my binders. I would have rated the EXs and I definitely rated the gold stars by now, but the hollows are still untouched. Diamond and Pearl era, EX era. I'm really excited to unearth all this stuff.
Yeah, watching the stream, it's like a little lag behind like listening to you talk, but like I'm just watching you scroll through these cards and I'm just like, holy shit, dude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, sorry. I think
woo.
I could stream to you in Discord, but then I think I'd probably kill the stream because like my internet sucks. So
Yeah. My
Jo-
internet's horrible too, so.
John was dealing with that last week. I'd be talking about something and he'd be he'd be like, "Give me 30 seconds or a minute." But yeah, Cameron had asked me
So
if,
did
if
this
oh, sorry. Cameron had asked me if this Aggron was gradable or not. That's actually one interesting thing. Like, I think he's pretty much just a 10 guy, low pop pokey in the Discord. I'm curious, like, say this is $15 for Troll and Toad near mint. What would someone pay for like a PSA 10 copy, like raw, like a potential PSA 10 copy? Are people actually paying big premiums for the raw ones? Probably not. Um, that I've made my thoughts on the whole grading thing, the low pop thing, very well known. But like, it's kind of frustrating to me because like I have to grade these to realize the premium. There's no way around it. If I try to sell myself, I'm going to be selling on eBay to people who want to grade tens. So if they get a 9, they're going to return it. Like if they get one that raw looks like a 9, they're going to return it. And or I need to sell it on Troll and Toad as near mint, and then I'm really short selling myself. So I have to grade it and sell it as a 9 or a 10. My own little rant there. Sorry, go ahead with what you were gonna say.
No, you're good. I think the low pop thing is it's all relative. Like low pop doesn't mean the same thing for every card. And obviously like you have a good amount of of mid-gen here, a lot of which is like really low pop. In Japanese, mid-gen is extremely low pop. Like some hollows are literally like pop 1, pop 2. There's not an infinite amount of it out there, but there's a decent amount of it mint still out there. And so those pops are going to grow a good amount over time. And especially now that like grading is so much cheaper, because a lot of like Japanese stuff, especially mid-gen, doesn't really make sense to send unless it's like an EX of a big Pokemon or something like that at like a 30 or a 50. But yeah,
Yeah.
like just applying the idea of something being low pop to that automatically meaning it's a good investment or it's safe or has good fundamentals or whatever. Like it's all relative. And I think people that don't flip and grade a decent amount don't have as much perspective on like how easy it is to like find cards raw and grade them, And
Yeah.
yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely think, like Cameron mentions, he's paying 300 to 400 for a card like that in a 10. If you're like 10 or bust, and if you have the money, and if you know the risks of what you're getting into, it's a very reasonable purchase. He just mentioned, as I'm saying that, you'd never buy them as investments, buys them because he loves the art, and it's hard to find. So if you value your time at X amount of dollars an hour, it's probably quicker and easier and the better play to just buy them graded. Not everyone has the time that us one percenters of the one percenters have to go through Buy and to go through eBay listings and to buy hundreds of thousands of cards to grade 10,000 of them or something like that. So, yeah, as long as you have the right idea and the right like forecast for them, it's all reasonable to me. But I've never been that guy. Like me, give me a PSA 7 quality that all the issues are on the back, and I'll put that in my binder and I'll look at it from arm's length and I'll love it. To me, like, I don't know where it just went, but like this Aggron, it has something weird going on in the back left. I don't know if it's an indent or what it is. So this one, it's like that weird thing where it could be a 10, it could be a 6, which is kind of annoying. But I had another one over here that I saw that was like a straight 7 because it had a lot of back edge wear, but the front was clean. Give me the 7 for $7 and I'll sell the 9 for 50 and I'll sell the 10 for 300 all day long. Like that's just where I'm at as a collector. I'll buy 100 of them for $7 and I'll sell off 80 of them, 90 of them for break even, and I'll sell 10 of them for a big profit. Something like that. Like that's kind of my business strategy.
When it comes to like longer term holds or like obviously like you say you prefer like the cheaper lower grade or whatever, but do you think for like investment purposes or whatever that it is better to have the 10 even if it is like silly, arbitrary, whatever, like there's no real difference between that and a potential 9? Like do you still think that like having the 10 is important, or do you think that like over time that might not be valued as much and the premium between like a 9 and a 10 might shrink, or what do you think about that?
I've always subscribed to the fact that like the 10 premium is way too high for how high the variance is on their grading. Literally this stream and last week's stream is a lot of me cracking out 9s trying to get 10s. And some of it's from CGC to PSA working different grading scales. But some of it too is like same company to same company, because I don't care what card it is. If you have the cleanest, nicest looking 10, or if you have, say you have the cleanest, nicest looking 10, if you crack that out 10 times, it's not going to get a 10 times. Maybe it will 9, maybe it will 8. But if you have a 9 and you crack it out 50 times, you're going to have a handful of 10s, a handful of 8s, and mostly 9s, and then maybe like a 6 in there too, because why not? And given what I know, given the experience I've had grading 10,000 plus cards, I don't see the premium there myself. A lot of stuff that I sold though, like I sold a lot of 10s that in hindsight, had I kept them, they would have done great. Like, but I also have some anecdotes too. Like I pulled a Yanma Neo Discovery First Edition. I made that card pop 3. I think today it's pop 12. I sold it for like 2,300 if I remember correctly, and I think it's about 12,000 now. So that card like 6x'd, 6x'd.
For a
But
little like mosquito dog, like that's crazy.
yeah,
I mean,
Dragonfly, right?
yeah, that's crazy.
I think like that card only, I say only because it's crazy. That card only 5x'd when a lot of other stuff, a lot of like worse stuff 10x'd. Like I think the 9 at the time that I sold that, 9s were selling for like 20 or 30. So had you bought 29s, you would have gotten a better return because I think the 9s are 200 or 300 now, right? Like closer to 10x. And even if they're not, but like that's one of the things that it went up like crazy. It didn't fall 90% like the Evo Charizard did. It didn't fall 90% like Jungle Pikachu, Jungle Eevee did. So 10s, some of them will shoot up quicker, some of them will fall quicker. It's really hard to say. But I'm comfortable and happy doing what I'm doing. Generally, I sell the 10s and I keep the 9s. Now I'm getting to the point where I sell the 9s and I buy binder copies for myself. And I mean, I'm at the point where I'm doing this full time. Everything is inventory. It has to be. So everything's got a price. Everything's for sale. If the market feels too low, I just won't list it for a while. Kind of like all my WotC first edition holos right now. That's why I'm trying to make some of them 10s before I sell them. I don't know why this non-holo's in here.
Do you think that like people that were trying to start businesses or trying to stonk or had distributor connections, like do you think a good amount of them have fallen off now that things have retraced? Like did you have more competition during the boom and now noticeably less, or is it about the same, or what do you think?
There's definitely way more competition on like certain like I sell a lot of modern promos, PSA 10, PSA 9 in my store. I sell a lot of like WotC first edition non-holos. Um there's more competition on that stuff. The prices have come down and there's more people. The prices have come down because there's more competition, because there's more people racing to the bottom. But as far as like ultra modern, I still sell ultra modern pretty well through Troll and Toad Evo primarily. Very low margins. For 2020 to 2021, I could just send a box there and I'd make $50 a box without doing anything. Now I'm making like $1 or $2 a box. The margins are way lower, but like there's still volume there. These things
Well,
are
and you don't have to do anything, right? Like it's
yeah.
all automated. It automatically goes there. You're good to go. So, but then like when special stuff comes out, like I know you said that you held back some of the UPCs because like you're already in the profit on the ones you sold or whatever. So like, do you have
Ooh.
those sent to you directly, or do you leave them at Troll and Toad but just like change the price that you want for them, or how does that work?
So I have two distributors. One of them is in the same warehouse as Troll and Toad, so that stuff all goes like straight there. The other one, the stuff comes to me, and then some of it I forward it along. But I can divert anything I want directly from my distributor, or I can fulfill any of my inventory, kind of like PWCC Vault. At any time, I can pay a fee and divert stuff from my Troll and Toad inventory to myself. One thing though, it's pooled. So like, say I send off this reverse hollow Sableye to Troll and Toad. If other vendors or Troll and Toad themselves have copies, it'll get pooled with everyone else's. And I won't necessarily get my copy back if I fulfill it back to me. Because I have had a few people reach out to me like, hey, I bought from you on Troll and Toad. This condition is not Mirror Mint. This is terrible. I'm going to tell Rattle on you or whatever. Like, and I'm like, look, you bought through Troll and Toad. They have their own return policy. They handle the condition. Like, I did not make that condition. They did it. Take it up with them. They'll accept the return. But yeah, I've had that interaction a handful of times. Or I've had like, hey, I see you have this listing on Troll and Toad. There's no photos for it. Can you send me photos? I'm like, one, if I had photos from before I sent it, they're not applicable because they're pooled. And two, I physically can't because Troll and Toad has it. This shift tree has you'll see it in like a minute, but it has like binder dings or something. But these cards, like overall, these cards are way cleaner than I would have expected. Like I am super happy I went to this monster box in particular. I did look through.
Did these come from a collection that you bought, or
Yeah, this
where did you get? Okay.
at some point there'll be like a catch 'em all archives YouTube video because I have spreadsheets and I think I have some of the original. Like I'd screenshot or I'd download the original listing pictures. But two specific collections I can remember. One of them I've talked about multiple times. It was like a Mercedes van from Canada. The guy brought like a full van of everything, and there was like binders like this. I'm probably like a boomer in that I keep my stuff in 9 pocket pages in a binder like this, like a ring binder. People might cringe when they see that, but like I just looked at my EX era binders and I did already raid. I already raided all the hollows, so none of those are in there. But I'm gonna go grab my Diamond and Pearl era ones next. I think all the hollows are still in that one. But yeah, like
Diamond and Pearl's got some
yeah,
fire for sure.
the Canadian collection was a huge one, and then another one was just a random. It was like a $30,000 eBay collection, and this is the $30,000 eBay collection back in 2017 or 2018. So like, I mean, prices have gone to the like.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
If I bought that and put it in a storage locker and never touched any of it at the boom peak, that would have been over $500,000, and today it would still be $250,000 or something. Like I immediately though, like when I bought that, I borrowed money from myself, like business money. I put $5,000 into an account and I just did my thing for the past several years. This was like one of the 2 or 3 occasions where I bought a collection so big that like I'm like, hey, I talked to my wife, hey, I'm gonna pull some money out of our personal savings or our personal checking, and I'm gonna loan myself 20 grand, and I'll pay it back as quick as I can, but it'll definitely get paid back. So
That's crazy, dude. Wait, so like were the pictures really, really good, or like what made you feel comfortable with taking a risk like that back then when prices were so like was it just so under market for what was in it, or like what was,
well,
your thinking?
the crazy thing is, and I don't remember lot A from lot B from lot C like perfectly clearly. I'll need to look back because I made a spreadsheet anytime I went to like, let me see what this is worth. Like if I paid 30, I must have seen at least 50 there in value. But primarily, and it's crazy to think with how much these are worth today. These, oh wow, this one's like bent, wicked bad. That one's damaged. But these literally would have been, oh, he has master sets of every EX era set. Let me attribute a few $100 for the EXs, a few $100 for the gold stars, and $10, $20 for each complete set. Like these literally would have been, I would have thrown in nothing. Like this stuff probably had a lot of base first edition. It probably had a lot of something else to get to most of the value, because of the 30 that I paid, or 20 or 30, I'm not remembering 100% correctly probably, but the value was somewhere else because I attributed almost no value to these. This one's damaged too. So yeah, it's crazy to think that, and it's crazy to say that today. Like thankfully I just put these back. I put these into storage and I never touched them, never looked at them. Had I just bulked them off in an eBay listing for auction, I would have gotten nothing out of these. Had I sent them the Troll and Toads buy list, I would have gotten nothing. My laziness and just like pushing them back rewarded me.
So are you in a hurry? Like obviously you said with like base first edition hollows and stuff like that, you're kind of like, I feel like they're undervalued right now. I'm just, kind of chilling on those. But as far as like mid-gen stuff goes, or modern promos, or things like that, are you feeling like are you feeling in a rush with the 18, with grading getting cheaper, things like that? Like are you worried at all? Or are you gonna have to like adapt or shift your business, or do you think that things are still relatively strong and that it'll hold through cheaper grading tiers, or
Like
what's your feeling, I guess?
this stuff in particular, I worry a little more when we get to like $8 grading again in a few years. That's part of the reason that I want to get on 18. But like I worry so much less for this than like any set that's been released since March of 2021. This is the cheapest grading that's ever been open, and even some of those pops are like mind blowing. How many people graded at 50 plus? Um, I really worry about stuff like that, but I don't have any of it, so I'm not taking any actions for that. But yeah, like this, if I don't get this out at 18 and I have to grade them at 8 or 10, I'm not too worried about it. Like this stuff, low print run, it's slower, it's lower demand, but it's way lower print. And 10, 5, 10, 20 years from now, I think people will still be getting into the nichey stuff, completing like crazy like me, having an old school boomer binder, trying to complete every set. So because some of this isn't gradable, some of this is just going to be PSA 7, PSA 8, Troll and Toad near mint, whatever. And I mean, seeing that these are worth 10 or 15 bucks a piece raw, I'm doing really well at that already. These ones weren't even sleeved. Right now I'm going through a Delta Species set. Reverse hollows, not even sleeved, but they look like minty.
Yeah, I like Delta Species a lot. Do you think that the sealed is overvalued? Because like these cards, it's potentially like the hit of the pack, and it's $10 to $15 near mint condition, and then the pack might be like $200 to $400. So do you think that the sealed just holds like the sealed premium, or do you think that the singles might be potentially undervalued, or what? How do you feel about like mid gen, um, like sealed booster packs and stuff like that?
I I just am like sealed is my enemy. I do my part to open. Sealed was made to be opened, and I do all I can to open all of it. So I try to stay away from it. But it's in a weird place because to me it's really expensive for what's in there. I don't think it has to make sense though. Like some people say the packs are this much, the cards are way too cheap. You open a pack, you lose hundreds of dollars. In my opinion, that's how it should be. Like there should be a huge cost to open such a vintage product. I think you see it a lot in like Magic and stuff too. Some boxes holding a massive premium. So I've mentioned that just like a general thing. Like if you look at A and B, A is massively undervalued to B. You always need to be careful. Like both could just be overvalued and one could be less overvalued. So I don't think necessarily the singles need to shoot up because these were mass-produced products. They were opened a lot years ago. Not as much as Modern, not as much as WotC, but still a lot. They were mass-produced and distributed around the world. So to me, they all seem like the market is not 100% efficient, but it's pretty efficient. Most things, most times, are like properly priced. When I like, that's a very broad general thing. There's always plays, there's always deals, but that's like in again the 1%. Like 99% of things most of the time are probably like relatively appropriately priced.
Yeah, I'm
Somebody
submitting
somebody actually
stuff
asked
like,
quick before I forget it. I just want to show it. They asked about the vial plume that I damaged last week when I cracked it. There it is. I lost it on the chat, but yeah, there's the damaged dark vial plume. Sorry, go ahead with what you're submitting.
oh, I'm sending a bunch of like these, like the fan club. I think these cards are cool, but I think they're gonna get like massacred um,
Oop.
when all the 18 stuff comes back. So I'm just trying to get these out. I think they're cool cards, but I'm just worried. I don't know how much demand, and like I'm just worried about people a lot bigger than me send in a lot of stuff, man, and you know, like cost basis is everything, and so I'm just like, you know, it really might be a race to the bottom on some of this stuff.
I
But
think
I
you
don't know.
meant,
Maybe the market holds.
yeah, I think you
Sorry,
mentioned
go ahead.
that. Were you in a live recently somewhere where you mentioned like my cost basis is literally zero? I guess more relevant than
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
yeah, more relevant than my cost basis on this is what I could get. Like right now, I'm seeing that I could get $5 to $15 for any of these cards through Troll and Toad raw. So like I'm not gonna want to sell under that, but that is really low. My true cost basis is nil on these. These are collections that I bought years ago that I made a lot of money on already. So you do like it is valuable. It is useful to people for people to know. One, if you're buying the PSA 10 low pops, I'm one little guy. I am a guy who's been doing this full time for a year. I've been engaged heavily, a 1%er, if not a 0.01%er, for 8 years. But I have all this, and I'm SM Pratt says sperm of the sperm whale. I'm like a tiny little fish in the massive ocean. And I have all this that I'm showing you now. I don't know what anyone else has, but this is what I have. How much more can be out there? No idea. But I think it's useful and interesting for people to see it. Knowing what you're up against, knowing a small little blip of what's out there.
If you were in a different like financial situation, as far as like, you know, your wife couldn't pay all your monthly bills, would you still be doing this full time, or would you maybe like take less time at a more uh normal type job or whatever, and then still put like a good amount of time into this? Like how do you feel moving forward? Do you still think that you're going to be able to continue to grow your business even if, you know, things do continue down a little bit, or
Yeah,
because your cost basis is so low, and like what's your thinking?
I feel very cozy where I'm at, like in today's reality, with my wife having a job as a teacher that pays our bills. With I was a chemical engineer for 10 years, and I made a good wage, and I saved 20+% of that all 10 of those years. Um, in the boom, paid off all my debt, all stuff like that. So like, given the position I'm in, I am not worried for myself with respect to the Pokemon market at all. Um, with respect to like, I knew when I quit my job, like I'm actually going to do a video. I'm probably going to record it like tonight, but the concept of enough and maximizing happiness instead of maximizing money are very much like life goals for me. I could have made more money staying a chemical engineer, doing that 50 to 60 hours a week, grinding this 30 to 50 hours a week. I would have made a lot more money doing both. Forgetting about my family. That's not me though. Like I quit my job as of like today in 2022, I'm going to make more than if I did chemical engineering alone, but I'm making less than if I did both together. Same thing in 2021. Like 2020 might be the best year on the books for a long time, maybe ever. That was a very, very good year. And a lot of it was capital gains too. It wasn't like active flipping profits. It's hard to separate out what's capital gains, what's active flipping. But yeah, like if alternate reality, if I didn't have a family and if I was just like a bachelor, I love doing this stuff. So I could see a reality where I, even if I didn't have the financial footing of like 10 years as a chemical engineer, if I was at the age where getting out of college or not even going to college and just doing this full time, I feel like I could grind this and make like Rusty. Rusty went to be a teacher and then he was making enough doing this that he just like went into this full time from the start. I would feel comfortable today, the size of the market, my knowledge, my ability, I would feel comfortable that I could make myself a decent living. Not 80 grand a year, not 100 grand a year, but like I live very laid back, very low cost, with my whole family. And then if I was living alone, I could live stupid low. I mean, my dad has rentals. I could like work with him some on the side, live in one of his rentals. I could live. I could live on 20 grand a year if I had to.
Do you like? Did you know that it was going to like? Did you always have a goal to like continually compound and see how big you could build it? Like, do you ever sit and think like, "Damn, this is crazy. I'm flipping Pokemon cards full time." Like, it's such a huge blessing. It's something I really enjoy doing. Yeah, like do you ever sit and reflect like, or did you always kind of know like, okay, buy for 5, sell for 10, buy for 10, sell for 20, keep on going, like like now that you have time to kind of chill out and think about all the craziness that's happened, how things have retraced, so on and so forth, like where is your head at, I guess.
Yeah, it's really, really good question after good question. It's crazy to think back. I mean, right now, there's 87 people watching me hang out with a friend online, looking at Pokemon cards. Unbelievable. Look at that. Under me, there's 1,982 subscribers. We're inching closer and closer to 2K. Never would have thought this would be a thing. I quit my job as a chemical engineer to sell Pokemon cards full time. But like 2014 is when I got back into Pokemon specifically. But I've been on eBay since like '04, since early high school. I sold off some of my old video games. I've always loved eBay for whatever reason. Whether it was selling my own stuff for 5 to 10 times what GameStop was going to give me, or whether it was coins. For a while, I was buying broken PlayStation 3s, buying the Blu-ray diodes, and like fixing PlayStation 3s. And in like an hour's worth of work, or I mean, once I got it refined, it was probably 15 minutes worth of work. And I could make $100 a pop in 15 minutes as like an 18, 19-year-old. So, I mean, that was like crazy good money. Like eBay has just always had so much potential to me. And I did coins, I did video games, I did Steins, I never really knew that it was going to be like a full-time gig ever. But I know that I'll always have an eBay account selling something. Because just treasure hunting, chasing that next big score, optimizing the best way to sell it, list it. I mean, now we have all these other selling platforms too. It's really fun for me. You gamify it. You make it into a video game, trying to get the max level, trying to catch them all, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I know a lot of people get stressed out about selling, or they just haven't sold cards before, or they're just, interested in building a collection and not really trying to flip or anything like that. But I'm having so much fun. Like I'm having more fun now than I've ever had. Um, just kind of like pushing myself, trying to grow the business, see where I can take it. Like it's fun, and you get to see so many different cards. You get to have like a lot of cool stuff like pass through your hands, and I don't know. It's and you get to meet all sorts of cool people and everything, and yeah, it's just wild, man. Like I had no idea that that Pokemon would be like this big of a part of my life, so it's cool to see.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. We got King Pokemon. We got Gary in the chat. Uh,
Snap. Okay.
um, yeah, it's
Working through this submission so I can get this out later today.
yeah, I've got to work. I've got to work really hard the next 10 days to get out. I guesstimated that I'd be between 500 and 1,000. I might try to push it closer to the 1,000. Um, just because like I haven't even looked at my Diamond and Pearl era binders yet, and I think some of those hollows would also apply. But a lot of these reverse hollows look 10 worthy. I think I might get decent 10 rates here, and even the 9s, like I'm not going to regret it. Because I know I do have some of these at Troll and Toad, and I want to say these sell for like $5 a piece. and those are like true Troll and Toad near mint, like PSA 7 quality cards. I don't want to sell 9 quality cards for that.
Yeah, man. I mean, if your cost basis is 0 at $18 grading, those are kind of no brainers because those are gonna get 45 to 65 bucks. I feel like all day in nines, and then more popular Pokemon maybe a little bit more. And then obviously if you hit a 10, you're gonna be doing really good. So
Yeah.
yeah. It has been stressful trying to, because 18 is so much more stuff makes sense to send at 18, like in comparison to 30 versus 50 kind of deal.
Yeah,
It is kind of stressful, so I'm interested to see like how many people are just wailing right now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, I think it's very much like an exponential demand curve as the price, like even though in absolute terms, 50 to 30 was $20. 30 to 18 was only $12, but it's an exponential type thing. I guess if you do percentages, 20 over 50 is 40%, 12 over 30 is more like 40%. So it is a higher percentage, but still, like, once you get down to 15, you might double what people have. You might double it again once you get to 10 or 12. And I mean, if somehow it's not going to happen, but if they open $5 grading, you would 10x what everyone had. Because I mean, we joke that you could send anything at 10. You could absolutely send anything at 5. It would be silly.
Well, and I mean, I guess it's kind of nice for, collectors or whatever, because you can get cool stuff. I mean, like, I know sometimes people are like, oh, well, you don't need to slab everything. And like, to me, if you really like a card and you want it slabbed or whatever, like, I don't see anything wrong with it, even if the card raw is $5. So like a lot of these reverse hollows, like, people just really might like the art, really might like the Pokemon, whatever. And because you're in at a cheaper price, effectively 0 plus cost of grading. If you can sell these cards to people for like 40, 50, $60, like, that's a really collectible price. A lot of people can afford to kind of like collect in that price range. So I don't know, like, it has some positives for people too, like more stuff's going to be available, not just like a bunch of like modern junk and low grade like PSA stuff, or like low grade WotC stuff. Because like when you look at PWCC, over the past couple of months, it's been there. There's pages and pages and pages of like PSA 4 Nidoran, PSA 5 Diglett, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So now I feel like that the market has retraced. That stuff isn't really worth sending as much. People are going to be a little more choosy with what they send at 18. I don't know, but people might still be trying to stonk, and they're just like, screw it, send it. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think people are like more choosy now, or do you think that people are still just going to YOLO it and send whatever and try to squeeze some cash out of it?
Again, I think more useful than me speculating is just me sharing my anecdote. At 10, I saw the writing on the wall. Like, I didn't necessarily know they were going to close, but I knew turnaround times were going to go to the moon. So I used middlemen and I chucked everything. I chucked over 10,000 cards in the matter of a few months. Had I done them directly, I couldn't have physically gotten that many out because I had a newborn, I had a job, and I had a toddler as well. So yeah, like, I'm being more choosy, but if we get to 12, I'm going to be less choosy. If we get to 10, I'll be less choosy. If we get to 5, I'm going to chuck everything again. But I don't know what made me think of this, but like an hour ago, maybe, I had a super chat and I just remembered. I'm going to read that out. I have no idea if you're still here, Philip, but sorry. I have some CGC 10 slabs I want to transfer to BGS. What do you think has the best chances, crack or crossover? Most are newer certs. My take on this has always been the same thing. Like, it is hard to crack a CGC 10, but to me, and CGC has the clearest cases of all three. I think you can best grade a card through a CGC case as opposed to BGS or PSA, but still, like, you need the card raw to really see. I think, if anything, BGS, especially if you're going for Black Label, they'll be less likely to crack it because they'll be worried that, hey, if I crack this, and have to return it to the customer raw because it doesn't meet BGS 10 quality, that's going to be a bad customer experience. Plus, they get paid the same whether they crack them and re-encapsulate them as if they don't. So I never liked the whole minimum grade thing. I've done it a couple times with PSA 9, base first, Blastoise, and Charizard. But yeah, like, it's tough. Ideally, you'd crack them, but I understand if you can't. Sending them graded, I think you're just less likely to get the cross. That's my own take. Sorry for an hour late answer to a super chat.
You submitted a lot to BGS. Like, do you have a decent amount of experience with that?
I think 2 times ever. So 5 or 6 years ago, shout out Gary. I actually had a complete PSA 9 base first edition set I bought from Gary. Complete 103 card with the red cheek Pikachu, $8,300. I still remember the price. I'll never forget the price because it was like market at the time though. Like Gary, we've known each other for years. We've talked a bunch. He definitely cut me a little bit of like, hey, friend deal, whatever, PayPal. But it wasn't a massive deal. It was pretty close to market. And the PSA 9 Charizard and Blastoise were like minty fresh. I honestly thought they could have been PSA 10s, but I'm like, these are almost definitely BGS 9.5. So I sent those both in case. I got the 9.5 on the Charizard. And then I ended up selling that for like several months later. So prices appreciated a lot. But I sold that for more than I bought all of them for. And then other than that, like during the peak boom, I sent like a 20 card submission to BGS maybe of like some Sword Shield 50s were in there. I was trying to get like a black label Sword Shield 50, but I didn't. I sent some like CP6 Korean as well. But I don't think I'll ever submit to BGS again.
Okay. Just
to
because
me,
like the experience wasn't good, or like the price isn't good enough and it doesn't make sense, or what do you think?
like the only play for me personally would be the black label lottery. And maybe someday I'll start playing it, but the CGC 10, the CGC Perfect lottery is there too. So for now, that's what I play. I don't know. Do you? I know you do like a lot of oddball stuff. Yeah, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, Retrospecs, go check him out on YouTube. Great channel. Gets into some deep dive. Like, I'm a Pokemon guy. I do a little bit of Metazoo. But he gets into all different kinds of stuff. Very knowledgeable. Gary wants those cards back. Sorry, Gary. Sorry and thank you.
Yeah, I've been grading some weird stuff. I'm trying to build a market around these. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera. Let me see. But these are like from the early 90s, mid 90s. They're Dragon Ball Z like Prism cards, kind of like, you know, the Pokemon Cardos type stuff. So I'm trying to build a market around cards like that. I've been buying like a lot of that sealed product to get the cards in as good a condition as possible. And then I've been buying score too. This is already graded, but I have some like score ultra rares and promos and stuff like that I really want to grade. And BGS with score specifically, like PSA won't label so there's full foil and there's half foil, and PSA won't label one way or the other, and then there's limited and unlimited, and PSA won't label that. So a lot of the DBZ people prefer BGS, and PSA will grade like the Cardos DBZ stuff, but some of the stuff I'm sending, like some of the other animes, are like more niche. I don't think they have set lists. And I think I don't know. I think BGS will be the better place to send, because with PSA, like if you get a print line or something like that, like it's an automatic 8. With BGS, you could still get like a 9 or a 9.5. These cards are old. It's kind of like the way they grade Magic on a curve. I feel like they kind of do the same thing with DBZ because they understand like manufacturer errors, or they grade around manufacturer errors. I don't know if people would consider that like grading it weaker or whatever, but like, yeah, I don't know. So I'm probably gonna have to send a good amount of stuff to BGS because it's so niche. PSA won't grade it anyways. But But to be honest, like I like BGS slabs a lot. Like I think they look clean. I'm not a huge fan of the inner sleeve, but I like the logo. I don't know, and the silver and the gold labels, and yeah, I think they're cool.
Oh,
Reek says, "Is PSA?" Oh, there you are. Yeah. Okay. I
I,
was
I
gonna
was
say I couldn't hear
muted.
you for a minute there. Okay.
Um, yeah. Thanks, Josh. CGC, I prefer their case, their label, everything by far. PSA and BGS are like,
Everything, even
yep,
even to B or even to PSA. Okay.
yep.
It's
CG,
clear, man. Like the plastic is clear. It's
yeah,
it's
like
crispy. I'm not
I
gonna
want I want
lie.
to see the card. I want to see the card. So CGC is tops for me, and then PSA and BGS I can give them or take them. Like I don't really care. Black Label, I've never owned one. I kind of should just like buy one, even though they're way too expensive. But I I should buy one to experience it and hold it. The whole gold label, silver label, white label. I don't know. I've owned quite a few BGS cards, and I'm not crazy about it. PSA and BGS are kind of on par for me. I don't know if I'll grade these, but I got these beautiful. I like the reverse hollow energies, not as much as the Heart Gold Soul Silver era energies. The reverse hollows with like,
Oh, the ones that have like the Pokemon in the back and stuff. Those are sweet.
yeah, but these are really cool though too. I do like the reverse hollow energies from like Power Keepers and whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
I'm
muted.
not a big fan of the Keepers Charizard though. Not a big fan of that art.
I had muted because I had muted because I linked your channel and I pulled up your thing and I just didn't want
Oh,
I
for
did
it to play
yeah, I didn't want it
play
for I didn't
back.
know if you had a video on autoplay. Looks like TCA just raided. He just finished up his stream. So welcome everyone who came from TCA's stream. Rusty, did you finish VMAX Climax today? I know you were going for that like 100 boxes deep. Hopefully hopefully you did, but I think you still needed several cards. We're just hanging out over here, not even close. Sorry to hear that, but I think that was the expectation. Yeah, we're just working on some PSA $18 subs. I went through a monster box of EX era, not all EX era hollows. Like these were complete sets, so a lot of commons and uncommons. But I do have like stacks of I filled a 800 count box of just all EX era hollows, reverse hollows, really cool stuff that I don't see as much. So kind of a fun day just browsing through these, getting some submissions ready. Look at these cards.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. That's why I love Bulbapedia, man. Because sometimes like these like Japanese promo cards or whatever are difficult to look up in the PSA like drop down or whatever. So I just go on Bulbapedia and search through there to get like the set name or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked Middlemen for the ability to just chuck them out and then they deal with it. But for these, like I'm doing them all myself, and it's not fun. But English is easier. I know James ZNG Emporium said in Discord. He said always do the number and then the name, and I have had more luck that way. PSA's search query is so weird. Like the more specific you get, the more results you get. Like instead of Google where it narrows you down, it refines you down. PSA, like if you type Flygon, EX Dragon for the year, you'll get like Ty Cobb 1900 whatever, just random stuff that makes no sense. Like I don't know what they're doing over there with their search. But yeah, for this one, you'd type 4 Flygon, and then EX Dragon Flygon should be somewhere right in there.
Yeah, this one is like, I guess, Legends Awakened in English, but it's a half deck in Japanese.
Yeah, those
But
niche things.
yeah, I mean, it's a heat ran. So, what do you do with like random Pokemon that you think might 10? Like, do you, do you just like, what do you put for a declared value? Just putting like 150, or I don't know. I'm putting like 125 in for pretty much everything because I don't like, there's not a whole lot of sales data for a lot of this like mid-gen stuff. So
Honestly, like these cards here, when I submit these later tonight, tomorrow, whenever I do them, I'm gonna submit $10 a piece for these because I paid less than that. And if I were to sell them raw, that's literally what they're worth, most of them. So I'm gonna put $5 or $10. People might cringe hearing that, like, oh my god, what if it gets lost? What if it gets damaged? I've submitted over 10,000 cards. I've never had a package lost. Now my next one will get lost. But yeah, like I think it's fair to. I mean, that's raw market value. That's what it is. So I'm not going to declare $50, $200. Like Dark Lava Lizard is saying, declare max value for that tier. I never have. I'm not going to declare all these at $199. Then my return shipping, not that it's a huge deal, but my return shipping would be a lot more. I don't know how much more exactly, but my strategy has always been like declare them what they are worth raw. And then they'll come back whatever they're worth graded. If they hit 10s, some of these I probably won't even get upcharged if they hit 10s. Some of them even 9s might get upcharged, but yeah, or the Zard Hunter, Brad saying that I'm going to lose my next sub now that I said that. I probably will.
yeah, I don't know. I could just be being paranoid or whatever, but I'm sending like 3 different packages. Like I'm splitting it up into 3 different, and then I always do like priority. I don't know. I'm not trying to, but luckily I'm in Washington, so it usually gets to PSA in like 2 days, and they scan it in, so that makes me feel better. If I lived on like the East Coast and had to wait like over a week for PSA to scan my cards in, I might have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, one thing I used to do when I was using middlemen, when I was chucking everything, I used to do 500 card subs. And 2 reasons I don't like that anymore is because I literally had like 10 500 card subs and I had no way of knowing like which one is this, which one is that. Um so that's part of it. And then the other part is yeah, if and when one does get lost, losing 100 cards is a lot better than losing 500. So when I send these, like I might, if I send 1,000 this month, it'll probably be 5 or 6 packages of anywhere between 100 and 200 each. I'm never going to do 500 again unless something crazy happens or unless I want to submit like 500 Gold Star Greninjas. I'd probably be hoping they lost them. But yeah, so far, all I've sent out is the, what did I do? I think I did a 120 and then I did a 50 so far, I think. I'll have to look. Pokemon Gym Hero mentioned that return shipping insurance won't even be that much money. So maybe I will declare them all higher, $100 a piece or something, just in case.
Usually it's been like 35 for me pretty much across the board. I haven't been sending like hundreds of cards though. I think like my biggest submission at like a 50 tier was probably like 20 or 30 cards. But it's been $35 for, but again, like I'm close, so maybe it's cheaper for them. It might be more expensive to ship to like the East Coast or somewhere far away.
Oak asked if you're cracking too. I think you're just going through cards, right? No
I'm
cracking.
not not cracking. I'll go through. I'll show when I get done here. I'm just filling out a submission so that when we hop off here, I can head to the post office and drop this off. I'm kind of worried that like because I wasn't prepared that it might take like a month or two longer to get my cards back than everybody else's because they were sending maybe like as soon as they heard the announcement. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just overestimating that.
It's all luck of the draw. They don't do first in, first out, so.
Yeah, true that. True that. I'm interested too because I've seen a lot of people's returns come back and from like 2020 bulk and stuff like that. And people are getting wrecked, and I feel like I'm a pretty strong pre-grader, but I've been sending stuff mainly at the 50. And I've been getting like a good amount of tens. And so I wonder if like not too tinfoil hatty, but I do wonder if, maybe if you're sending at a higher tier, you might, I don't know, like are they being more lenient or maybe were people just chucking a lot of garbage because it was so cheap to grade back then and everything was going to the moon?
People were
Yeah,
chucking
I'm not
garbage.
quite sure.
I was
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was one of those people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just making sure. Just making sure.
it was people not pre-grading largely, or just being bad at it. Like people seeing their own cards through rose-colored lenses. Everything I have is gonna get a 10. In spite of people sending out garbage, myself included, PSA is still giving like 37% of cards 10s. So a lot of cards are still getting 10s. Pokemon Gym Hero asked if I let people come on here. I'm not doing like right now what Jake has been doing, where I really love that format that he has, the call-in radio show. Moving ahead, my YouTube, I'm going to do a one pre-recorded video on Monday, and then I'm going to do a live generally either on Wednesday or Thursday. Last week I brought on John because we were just chatting and hanging out. Retro was in the chat, so I had him hop on. Maybe I'll periodically just bring on one person each week and hang out, get cards sorted out or crack boxes, whatever I'm doing. But yeah, like right now I'm not cycling through people. I think you were messaging in last chat, but I'm still like trying to sort this all out. And last week I had John's audio coming out of my speakers into my mic, so his audio was like garbage. This week I've upgraded. I've got headphones now. I have Bluetooth earbuds in on the way because like I'm sweating wearing these headphones. I usually
Sorry.
no, it's fine. Like for the people's ears, for the sake of their audio, I want to do it the right way. So I have earbuds coming in, Bluetooth earbuds that are going to be way better. But yeah, like down the line, Gym Hero, I could probably get you on at some point, Discord call, hang out for one of my live streams, because I am going to be doing this every week. And unless I'm on vacation or something for a week, I'll make it known. But yeah, this is so much fun. It's less stressful too, like going through the week and I don't have to come up with uploads now. I'll show that collection off live, do it live. Does anyone know either, like, or do you know, are any of these versus series like non-hollows, are any of these worth consideration at 18?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Well, let me catch up on the stream and see what cards you're talking about specifically. But
It's
yeah,
the
man,
whole
like
set.
especially if you think,
I
oh
have the
yeah, dude, full send, full send for
Really?
sure. Yeah, I'm being serious
Ooh.
because even like the Claire's Dragonite, like here I can pull up PWCC. A lot of these have gone through PWCC and sold for pretty strong prices because there's like popular Pokemon, it's Charizard, Gyarados, there's Morty's Gengar, Claire's Dragonite.
But like I
There's like
should
an
probably be
Espeon, I want to say.
selective. I should take only those ones, right? Not like Zangoose or
I
like
don't think so.
or
No, man. I think
Dodrio.
especially if you think they're
Ooh,
gonna 9 or 10,
Articuno.
let me.
Like Articuno.
That
There are a
definitely.
lot of popular, but like Pillow Swine, Delibird.
You'd be surprised, man. Hold on, let me. I'm trying to pull up PWCC sales history really quick because I know a lot have gone through here.
Yeah.
So I
The
can give you some.
The issue is, like, I could quickly, if I just send everything, I could quickly get to where I have like 2,000 cards to send, and I really don't want to send that many.
I feel you.
So maybe
Sure.
I'll just go like 50-50 with it. I'll just do like I'll pick like 50 of the best versus series to send for now, and then I'll hold off on the lower tier ones for like 15 or 12 or
Yeah.
something. Because I physically won't have time to send. Like, sorry if I have Discord notifications coming through. That's one thing about muting doing my desktop audio. I think you'll get stuff like that coming through. Let me see if I can mute that. Yeah, that's gonna turn. I'm gonna shut your thing off quick so I can turn my Discord notifications off.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Say goodbye to Retro's face quickly. If I can find which one it is. There it is. Notifications off. I think we're good. Ernesto's messaging me telling me to send all my versus series, so that's
Yeah, dude.
that's what the Discord
It's worth
notifications
it.
were that were coming through.
You'd be surprised, man. Even like I want to say like the Gengar in a 10 goes for like 200 to 300 bucks. The
Oh,
non-hollow Morty's Gengar. Yeah,
wow.
so those are definitely worth sending for sure. I mean they're not super easy to find like mint, but yeah, I don't know that I'd be like overpaying for it. I've thought about trying to find like the sealed packs of them to crack them open because like it might, depending on like what hollow you get out of the pack, like it might be plus EV, but I don't have a whole lot of experience with those, so I don't know what like what to expect fresh out of pack, if those are going to be like, you know, 10s pretty much fresh out of pack, or if they're just, you know, going to be some whitening or issues, because like so many of the cards are shoved in one pack. It's like 30 cards to a pack or something. So I don't know if the corners got dinged or what's up with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to take a closer look at all them then. Way too much stuff to get out before the end of July.
Yeah. Yeah, this is somewhat stressful. I gotta finish this sub. I'll send a day, and then I'll probably send off like two tomorrow, but I need to go through my sports stuff and figure out like, you know, pretty much anything. Like I don't know if you follow F1 at all, but pretty much anything like Lewis Hamilton is worth sending at 18 if you think it's got a good shot at 10.
Yeah, the
But
only
yeah.
sports I have, I recently bought, and because I'm a Rangers fan, I've been buying some Igor Shesterkin rookies. I haven't gotten into like any of his patches or autos or anything, but I've been picking up like $2 to $20, $30 singles. At some point, I do want to get into the bigger tier stuff, but I just don't know anything about it, and there's so many things out there, and none of this stuff's worth grading at 18. But yeah, there's. I kind of want to get out as much as possible because I do worry that a lot of people are sending a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff worthy at 18. Ray, don't you talk about the Rangers in the chat here? Yeah, Tampa Bay fan. Remember when Tampa Bay kicked the Rangers out? Who would have won the cup? And then they blew it against the Avalanche. Come on, Ray.
Can't believe you guys watch baseball, man. Baseball is so boring to me. I can't
Hockey,
do it.
New York Rangers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I love
yeah,
watching hockey. Seattle just got the Kraken. We suck, but like it's still fun
yeah.
to watch, you know.
Not the Texas Rangers, the New York Rangers. Hockey.
Okay,
I
okay.
love hockey.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, hockey's a good time, actually. It's just like the thing with baseball, it's like it's so slow, which is weird because I like watching golf, which is pretty slow too, but hockey is
Yeah.
just like go, go, go. A fight could break out. Like it's yeah, I don't know. It's fun, man.
Yeah, hockey is like wire to wire, buzzer to buzzer. It is hockey. And like I love football too, but like a good close football game, they'll kneel the ball at the end. Like they stop playing football for the past 2 minutes so they can kneel. Timeout, timeout. Like hockey, they pull their goalie. They throw everything they can at it. Buzzer to buzzer. So yeah, like here's Diamond and Pearl. Here's I don't have a full hollow set, but these are like the hollows from when I opened the box myself. This is Mysterious Treasures. It'll be coming up in a little bit on I know you're way behind on video.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I need to raid these binders and send a lot of these because like yeah, like here's Secret Wonders. Like a lot of these are pack fresh pulled by me. They really need to go.
Yeah, those need to get sent. I'm going through basically the Japanese equivalent of pretty much everything you're sending right now. Like here's this is from Unseen Forces. Um the
Yeah.
slow bro. This is actually unlimited too, which is kind of cool. I don't know. I like finding unlimited mid-gen and E series Japanese just because it is a little bit rare.
Yeah, like oh man, this Secret Wonders. Someone's probably gonna send a clip of this to the Charizard King because the last time I had a Secret Wonders return, he bought it out, all the nines, all the tens. But I just rated. I just pulled out all my hollows from Secret Wonders. Let me move these binders before they fall behind me.
Man, if I just collected and didn't flip, I'd be broke. I don't
Yeah,
understand how people do it when they they buy like it's just nuts to me. It's just like Jesus, man.
like the hollow bleeds on this set are crazy. Look at how beautiful. Just because like I don't see these ever. Like I never take out my binders lately and appreciate them. But these are like so unique, so different. I don't see them at all, and they're just like I pack pulled these ones, and part of me's like these are the ones I pack pulled. Maybe some of my favorite species, I'll hang on to them, and I won't sell them all. But like if these things hit tens, some of these are 4-figure cards that are $5 raw on
The
Troll and Toad.
Blastoise is fire.
Yeah,
The
like look,
Blastoise is sick.
I'm like getting chills going through these
I'm like
cards.
behind. I'm
Yeah,
behind on the video, but
yeah, like it's such a
yeah, the Gardevoir.
these
Gardevoir's
cards need
sick.
to go.
So like, is any of this like? Are you keeping any cards for yourself or no? It's just all inventory. All
I'll
inventory.
replace all these with binder copies. I'll literally
Okay.
I'll grade 110 and sell it, and it will pay for like to go to TCG Player or to go to Troll and Toad and just buy like near mint, late play, the whole Diamond and Pearl era hollow set, and I'll
Oh, the Suicune. You have the Suicune. I
yeah,
just got to
yep,
that. I love that card so much. Oh
yeah.
man, I kind of want it in Japanese because I like the silver border, but yeah, that card's fire. Rusty says just sold a Morty's Gengar in a 10 in auction for 360. So
Wow.
yeah,
How many? Is
yeah,
there more than
versus
one
series.
Gengar?
No, I think it's just Morty's Gengar. I think is the only one in there.
Is that the one with
Reek says
the big tongue?
it's his tongue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a sick art. They should have made it a hollow, honestly. Reek says retro, do you focus more on Japanese rather than English? If so, why? Is the
Ooh.
liquidity still there for set cards in your eyes? Always felt like the liquidity for Japanese set cards is super tough. Um, so I definitely focus way more on Japanese. I would say like 95 to 99% of my business is probably Japanese. The liquidity for the raw stuff isn't as great. I mean, it depends on what it is, right? Like if it's a Charizard or a Pikachu or Alakazam, Dragon, like really popular Pokemon, then it's going to be a little more liquid. But if you have some like Gen 4 kind of Pokemon that you get in raw that they're not really going to grade or whatever, then it is going to be tough. You're probably going to break even or take a little L like selling it raw. Um, but I don't know. I like Japanese. I think Japanese is like more unoptimized than English is. I think everybody's kind of like to use a finance term. I think that English is a crowded trade, if that makes sense. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And I also just enjoy the Japanese, potentially a little bit more than I do the English. So
Yeah, I don't know if you were looking at the screen when it came up, but my Gengar has a ding, so it's like a 6. Maybe I'll go CGC with it to try to get the 8 or 9. But it was like a faint. It had like it wasn't a binder ding, but it had a faint thing on the corner impression, so it would have been a PSA 6. Unfortunately,
send it to CGC and you'll get a 9.5.
yeah. What do you say? If it's got a dent, it's getting sent.
If it's got a dent, it's getting dude. Even sometimes with PSA, I feel like they've been missing dents and stuff like that. I don't know if they're just going through
Oh,
stuff quickly or
100%.
whatever.
Like
But sometimes I'm so
I,
scared to send anything with surface issues and then I see people get like 9s and 10s with dents, and I'm just like, dude, like,
yeah.
how is that possible? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to be careful with Masaki's because a lot of 9s and 10s out there still have the Masaki marks.
It sucks too because like the card can be perfect and beautiful, but then in like the right light, you see the dent. You're just like, oof.
Yeah.
It's just rough.
Robert wanted to see the Beedrill card. I'm assuming you mean. Oh, I don't know if you mean the versus Beedrill or if you mean the Beedrill that's on screen, but I'll show both. Is that my Discord coming through again?
I can't hear anything.
Okay, maybe it's not coming through to the stream. I don't know.
Nesto's messaging me, do a giveaway. I don't know if I have anything interesting to
If we get to 2K
do a
subs,
giveaway of.
if we get to 2K subs, I'll go grab. What can I grab? I'll go grab something to open and give away.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
I don't know if I should just give it away sealed. You don't need to give anything away. It's my get retro to 250 and he'll give away something.
Dude, I don't deserve it. I've been slacking on content lately. Like school's been kind of like kicking my butt a little bit, and I'm in classes now that are more important to me because they're more like applicable to the career that I'm looking to go into. So I'm just trying to be like really on top of it. But uh yeah, I need to get back on YouTube. There's a couple of videos I've been wanting to make. I just, like sitting down doing it, like making it happen. I just been putting it off, so I need to yeah, I need to get back on the grind for sure. So
Mr. Walrus wants me to open more heavy packs. I did
dude, that
just
was
gain
crazy.
I gained a couple
That was
subs there.
crazy.
Ernesto says the chat's hungry.
Yeah, it's hungry.
The chat should be feasting on these mid-era, not frequently seen gem candidates. I can't wait to do the live where I get one of these submissions back and just 10 after 10 after 10.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's crazy. Some of these Japanese set names, like this Raichu, is from Japanese Stormfront, but the Japanese name for the set is Intense Fight in Destroyed Sky. So
Nice.
on PSA's thing, yeah, they're just like, all right, Japanese Stormfront. Let's make it
Yeah.
easy.
That's tough. That I don't know what they're gonna do with that label, but it's gonna be butchered. I know.
Yeah, well, no, they just put it as a Japanese Stormfront, and a lot of the Japanese sets I'm noticing like it'll be, or no, I guess this is a different name, like Japanese Diamond Pearl Secret of the Lakes. I don't know what that is in English, um, but yeah, for the Intense Fight and Destroyed Sky, they just said we're keeping that as Stormfront, making that easier. So it's weird too, like with Ruby and Sapphire, they call it expansion pack instead of just like Japanese Ruby and Sapphire. So um, yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm terrible. I used to know all the English set names, and I could tell you by the symbol in a second. I would have them all. But lately, some are like
That's
slip in,
crazy.
and because I opened one of every box, and I was like really searching them all the time, like Holland Phantoms. I don't know how to say all of them, but I know I still know what most of them are. But I need to get back to my binders, get back to basics someday, and get those binders filled out. But right now I'm raiding them for gradable hollows. So I'm going backwards right now.
Yeah, I'm almost done with this stack here, and then I'll show what that submission's gonna be.
I'm probably gonna go to like I'll probably just go right till 4:30. My quitting time is 4:30 Eastern, so we got like 50 more minutes. Then it's
Okay,
family
sounds good.
time. So yeah, I'll bring it right to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I gotta get to the post office too. I just need to get this done. Trying to think if I have any other good like business questions for you or anything like that.
I guess you've been hitting me with them, but I've got one for you. Like, do you ever
Okay.
see like Jake? Jake recently he's talked about how he got done with the job that he had and he's moving into something else, but he never really sees himself like doing what I do full time. He never wants to just like flip stuff full time. Do you envision like if you could make what you made or what you expect to make in your future day job, would you enjoy doing this full time or do you see like a reality where that pans out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun for sure. I don't know if this would quite like I'm going into finance, so pretty decent like stable salary. So I'd have to be doing this at a pretty crazy scale to kind of compete with that. But yeah, man, like I love it, and it's kind of, it's taking time away from other things, but I'm having a really good time doing it, and it's a huge blessing to be able to, turn Pokemon cards or cards in general into a business. There's a few things I need to do to like level up, I would think. And I am really risk adverse, so like the idea of, getting in with like a modern distributor is obviously something that you need to be doing, but then I'm worried like, oh, if I tie up all this capital in a set that maybe like doesn't do as well, like am I gonna yeah, it just stuff like that kind of freaks me out a little bit. Right now, like with buying raw cards to flip and stuff like that, it's more like I'm in control of my inventory. Obviously, like you're gonna get a certain percentage of raw cards in that aren't gonna be gradable, and then you're gonna have to like either sell them raw and break even or take a loss a little bit. But overall, with the volume, like it pencils because you grade, you get nines and tens, you make good profit margin overall. But I'm more in control of my inventory. Whereas like if Pokemon comes out with like a bad set, like a battle styles, and then they just print like a lot of it, and then I'm stuck with like 10K worth of battle styles, that that seems like an uncomfortable position to be in. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
yeah, what do you think about that, or how have you dealt with those? Because I know you deal with a distributor and get like distributor product in and stuff like that. So how do you deal with like trial or not trial decks, but like pre-built starter decks and all the products that that aren't really gonna move that well, I guess.
yeah. Some of them I do break down. Some of them I pay someone to break down for me. And I know that like Troll and Toad Evo isn't the only thing out there. There's other third-party logistics, fulfillment type situations that at some point I want to devote more time to looking into. But for now, a lot of it is Troll and Toad Evo. It's man, this Charizard is. I don't know how this one didn't get rated before. I guess because it was in a monster box. This might be a 10.
The
Crystal-
Delta species?
The Crystal Guardians Delta Species Charizard,
No
yeah.
way.
That one's gonna have to go for 30 or 50.
I was gonna say you gonna try to sneak that in at the 18. I don't think so.
But last week, the 120 card that I sent off, stupidly, in hindsight, I'm like, what did I just do? I sent a Burn Tower, which I just sold a PSA 9 for 1,500, and it might be a 10. Like, I should not have sent that for $18. That was really dumb.
Yeah, I love that card. That I would love to collect that card. It's just too expensive to justify right now, but
yeah, the Burn Tower.
It's a good one.
When you're doing it full time, collection is a dangerous word. Inventory is more tax efficient, and it's also like it's expensive to tie up money. Even if a card doubles over 5 years, which is an amazing growth, you should be able to do a lot more than that, selling it and then turning that into more inventory. Like,
yeah,
that's moving the money, keeping it going is definitely the primary goal. I was just gonna pull something up and I forget what.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks too, because like right now, it feels like there are so many good potential like collection buys just because things have come down quite a bit price wise, and it's kind of like, ooh, like now's a good, like I bought that Super Saiyan Goku, and that's why I was asking Radar and Jake what they thought about it, like what they valued it at, because I thought I got it for really cheap, and it's something that I want to hold for a longer period of time. But like you said, like with that money, it's like I could be doing so much more, and it's really hard to justify. Like when I have cards sitting in card savers that are just ready to be submitted whenever, it's really difficult to justify like, oh, I'm gonna sink like 2 bands into a card just because I like it. It's like, well, like $2,000 can get you almost 100 cards to BGS or whatever the case may be. So it just, deploying the money around with the business, it's just, yeah, it's much more profitable right now.
Yeah.
So tough to balance the whole collecting deal, but
Very much. Constant battle.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Yeah, your average player, Jace. I was listening before this when I was packing orders this morning. I was listening to James and Cam, the bulk slab buyer. I don't really sell auctions like that on my store, but I am familiar with that bulk buyer that gets like 5,000 feedback a month buying $10, $20 slabs. I think I have a couple sales. I did some. The last time I did auctions was like back in January or so. So I did make some sales to them. Trying to pull up quick my submission. I did my 120 cards send off. Here we go. But I'm not gonna do like standalone videos anymore for send offs, and I'm not gonna do return videos either. I'm gonna do all those live. So I'll just show quickly what I sent out in my return. So yeah, it's covering everything. But this was my 120 card submission that I sent out. I'll pop that up there for a minute so people can see it. You can see Giovanni to the bottom left row. We got the retro there. One of the ones that I cracked out.
Love me a good Giovanni.
And then after that one, I cracked. So the Charizard that I pulled on stream with SM Pratt, Gary, and all them, that one was from a base box that I cracked earlier that day. So I sent, looks like 10 of the light packs to be graded. I just popped those on screen too. So those were what I submitted last week. And then this week I'm trying to do a bunch more. Just constantly be sending more and more out.
What's your feelings on grading MetaZoo? Like, are you sending any MetaZoo to PSA at 18, or are you grading any MetaZoo at all, like with CGC or anything, or what's
I'm
your
gonna
thoughts there?
So I'm like partnered with MetaZoo, and I'm gonna do a mass box break of UFO. I'm gonna send hitters primarily to CGC. If I hit any big serial, if I hit anything massive, it'll probably express to PSA or super express, whatever. Like if I had a 1 of 100 serialized, those things are worth thousands. That would probably be like a really high tier at PSA. But I only showed it for a little bit on screen, but I did send the Wilderness Tops first appearance. I sent those to PSA at 18. And I do have a couple like Pin Club Mothman promos that I'll probably be sending as well. I might have a couple Cryptid Nation first edition Mothman that need to be sent. Not like Kickstarter, but the first edition. So I do have a handful of things, but not a ton.
I feel like MetaZoo might be a play. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like it. I'm surprised it's still doing as like I thought it would have kind of like fallen off a little bit, but yeah, it's still doing well.
Yeah. UFO is supposed to land next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is the 27th, I think. So if I start my mass box breaking, I might be able to send out like 50 or 100 hitters from UFO at 18. I might or I might not make that play. I'm not 100%. But the main thing I want to do, I want to get like X amount of every single, get those sent to Troll and Toad for people filling out their sets. And I know like Basic Trainer, I was talking to him on Instagram the other day. There's some certain card that he wants for his decks, and he needs like a playset of them, I think. And I said, the first 4 I pull, they got your name on them. So I told him I'll just do like 25% below eBay or TCG Player. Ooh, this Manectric was nice, but it has a ding on the back.
I gotta wait like a minute.
Yeah.
The card you're talking about.
It is
I'm
annoying.
excited for UFO, man. I think there's gonna be some cool stuff in there. That's one of that one, and then the Ouija. Is it called Ouija or Ghost or something like that? That set I'm really interested to. Oh, okay, I see the Manectric now.
Yeah, it had like a little weird, like a bend on the bottom.
Are these ones you cracked, or these are just stuff you're pulling out of these binders?
This is still all. So this isn't from the binder. The Diamond and Pearl is from the binder. I must have already rated my EX era binders for the hollows. It's so weird because like it's gonna be a minute for you again, but here's a Swallow that just has a major crease in it. Like 90% of these are mint nice, and then I haven't shown them all really great over here, but like this Deoxys has a major corner ding. This Kabutops has like it's shriveling, like it looks like it got wet or something. So just
is this just because of keeping them in a binder for a long time, or like you just got them like that?
I think these would have came in the collection like that because like the majority of them are super minty. It's probably people who like opened a bunch of boxes to get most of their set, and then they just like gave up and bought the last few singles they needed. And some of the singles they bought were pretty rough. But no, these are literally, I have a storage area where I have the 5,000 count monster boxes, floor to ceiling. And some of them are just like, some of them are literally bulk, modern, energies, commons and uncommons, just absolute junk at the bottom. But then there's like a Diamond and Pearl era one and a EX era one. And these are the complete sets or the master sets from those collections that I bought years ago because they were never worth doing anything with. And I always figured like I'll get to them at a later date. And today's the later date. I wish, like, in hindsight, I forgot about these, or I couldn't find them. I didn't get to these in 2020. Had I chucked out an additional 5,000, 10,000 cards, like, that would have been the play. That would have been amazing. Because I'd already have these back. I'd be selling them now.
Was it just a time? Was it just a time thing, or like what?
Yeah, I chucked out 10,000 cards to middlemen, and that was like, I was grinding to get those out. I wasn't doing like any pre-grading at all, but like I just ran out of time, basically. And some of it was like they were probably lost. Like I bought a new house in 2019, and I moved in early 2020, and then rocket emojis, all that stuff happened. And I was trying to keep up with listing and selling what I had, sending out more to get it graded, chucking it out to the middlemen. And my mind just didn't go to like, oh yeah, what about all those mid-era monster boxes you have? Like, you should go through those and chuck them out. I did send out some, but apparently I didn't make my way to this one.
Did you feel like could you tell in 2019 like, oh, like this is this is going somewhere? Like obviously like a lot of the mooning happened in like 2020, but could you feel things moving pretty quickly to where you were like buying more aggressively, or being less like apt to sell rarer stuff, or were you just kind of like caught off guard and completely surprised by everything just kind of like taking off and going to the moon?
I did not expect it whatsoever. Jake and I have actually talked about our first interaction ever. Was I had my complete PSA 9. It was 370 cards. PSA 9, base unlimited, base shadowless, base first edition, all the way to like Skyridge. All the crystals, all H32, every chase card from WotC and PSA 9. Shinings, everything. Not unlimited, just first edition where applicable. And I had it on eBay in late 2019 for like 50 grand because the market value was like 30. And in 2019, I bought a house. The house I bought is like, it was a big fixer-upper. So I needed to put like I put 20% down. I was still paying my mortgage on my other house because I needed to do like 2 or 3 months worth of work on this house. I put like 40 grand into it. And I was like strapped. I was strapped for a few months there between the end of 2019 and the start of 2020. So I had my whole set up. Jake and I were like 5 grand apart on my entire collection, WotC first edition. At like, I was at like 55 and he was at like 50 or 48 or whatever it was. And thankfully we didn't come to an agreement on it. My thinking was like, sell it.
Was this on eBay or E4 or what?
Right on eBay. My thinking was like, sell it and I'll just build it again. Had I sold it 2-3 months later, rocket to the moon, I would have never built it back for anywhere near what I would have sold it for. So thankfully he bought other stuff too with the money that he almost spent on that. So like he probably bought stuff that went up more and I didn't sell it. Instead, I actually, like, for the only time in my life, I carried a balance on a couple credit cards because I 20% down. I put like 40 grand down on a house and I put 40 grand into it and I was paying 2 mortgages. It was tight for a few months there, start of 2020. But then February of 2020, I moved into my new house, and maybe April of 2020, I sold my old house. So then I got like, I had a decent bit of equity into that, so I got a big check from that, and I was good to go then. But yeah, thankfully that sale never worked out. That was mine and Jake's like one of our first big interactions, though. Him almost buying all that.
Do you think you would have been like super salty if you would have sold it and then it would have gone to the moon, or?
Probably. Like, I joked about it. I don't think I would have just like left the hobby entirely, because all this stuff that I'm showing you today, I would have still had that. All like I would have still had a ton of stuff, but like in a lot of ways, like any other time that I've moved a big part of my collection or inventory, I've directly bought more Pokemon. And had I done it then, it would have all been for like tile flooring and new bathrooms, and like it wouldn't have translated back into the growth. The timing would have been abysmal. So I'm glad it didn't go that way.
So are you paying yourself like a set salary per month and then just using whatever's left in like your business account to continue to like flip and grow the business? Or like how are you, because since I've started doing this more like as a business, I haven't taken anything out. I've just constantly been compounding, but I do want to start like adding to, like taking some money out and buying more stock and stuff like that. But then, I also want to have money to like buy inventory and grow the business. So like how do you balance that?
Yeah, so for 2014 to 2020, I was always filing taxes as a sole proprietor, and I never took money out. Like I put in the 5 grand, and then I put in thousands and thousands of hours. A couple times I took loans for myself, but I always paid them back. Other than that, I never took a penny out, and I never put a penny more in. 2020 hits, I sold Evolutions cases, and I sold like Pikachus and Eevees, and I paid off my house. So for the first time ever, I paid myself in 2020, taking money out of the business. And I talked to my accountant, and he was like, in early 2021, yeah, you really got demolished in taxes. We're going to make you an S corporation this year and all years moving ahead, as long as you forecast that you'll make X dollars a year. And I said, yeah, for the short term to medium term, definitely. So not tax advice, go talk to an accountant, all that stuff. But like now that I'm an S corporation, I legally have to pay myself what's deemed by the IRS a reasonable salary. I'm not going to go into specifics on what that is. That'll come down to what you do in your business. That'll come down to the conversation you have with your accountant and all that. But yeah, I do pay myself a reasonable salary, and 100% of that, or the maximum amount of that I can, all goes into tax advantaged accounts, 401k, IRA, things like that. Not tax or financial advice, but that goes into like traditional investments every month, every 15th of every month, like X amount of dollars come out and go into the S&P 500, VOO, VT Sax, things like that. Same way, like when I was a chemical engineer, every paycheck was going maxing my 401k, maxing my IRA. Now it's just I'm the employer and I'm the employee. So I do like employee match, all that stuff.
So you're saying you can still do like employer match through yourself? Like
Yeah.
how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I am Catch 'em All Collectibles Incorporated. I have an account with Vanguard where I am they have all this fancy terminology for it, but I'm the account custodian. I am the employer. Well, I can't get too specific as far, like, definitely talk to your accountant and all that. Talk to your, I paid an attorney to do my incorporation. I'm married. My wife owns some amount of the corporation. So like her name's on it, my name's on it. There's pay to both of us to some extent, all that stuff. But that's getting like too into the weeds on it. But at the end of the day, there's a corporation that I own some amount of that entity. It pays me a paycheck and it matches a percent. Like I used to work at a company where if you put in 1%, they'd put in 1% to match you, and then they'd give you profit sharing. So depending on how good their year was, some years they'd give you 3%, some years they'd give you 5%. But like my mom works at a company where if she puts in 12%, they match 50% up to 12. So she's putting in 12, they're putting in 6, she's getting 18 total. My current employer, me, is giving myself a much more beneficial package than my prior employer did. Per IRS regulations or limitations, I'm able to match 25% of my salary, no higher than that. So yeah, dollar for dollar, like every $4 I put in, Catch 'em All Collectibles is putting in $1, which is also me. So like it's not free money like it is when you work for a company. It's still my money coming out of my account, but it's
Yeah,
more
but it's still
in
you're able to
yeah.
go past your max or whatever on your tax advantaged account. So yeah, I
Yeah,
like
and
that. That's gangster. It's
instead
cool.
of maxing at 20,500, or I think that's what it is this year, I can do 20,500 times 1.25 because I do 20,500. The business does 25% of that, and then IRAs otherwise. So yeah, I'm putting a significant amount into like traditional investments throughout all of this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I might need to go get an accountant because things have been getting overwhelming for sure. I still need to get my reseller's permit and stuff like that so that everything I buy can be like tax free if it's for resale and stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah, I would
yeah.
definitely. It's I think a lot of people cost themselves dollars trying to save themselves pennies. Like, not everyone's doing it at my scale or your scale, but even if you're only doing a couple grand in sales a year, to pay an accountant, to pay an expert $200 for an hour or two sit down. Like where I am, I can pay somebody $100 an hour, like a really good accountant near me for $100 an hour. Maybe in a big city, maybe that's $250 an hour. I have no idea, but like talking with someone knowledgeable, do enough research on the front end so that you're asking good questions. Don't ask them dumb questions paying $100 an hour to do it. Make sure you're asking good questions, but like spending an hour or two paying a couple $100, even if you're only doing $2,000 a year in sales, like there might be one recommendation they can make to you. Hey, do this, do that. Now you just saved $300 a year on your taxes every year forever. It's crazy how convoluted the tax system is. And me being an S corporation versus me being a sole proprietor, I cost myself in 2020, I cost myself at least, well, if I say the exact number, people could probably figure out like how much I made, but I cost myself tens of thousands of dollars not being an S corporation in 2020. And literally all it is paperwork. I paid an attorney $1,000, and then I pay an accountant $1,000 a year to do my corporation filings, whatever. And I'm doing the same work in the same way, making the same amount of money, but on paper it's written differently. It's all legitimate, above board, IRS if you're listening. But I'm paying like that's how rich people pay less in taxes. They pay rich accountants to do their taxes with all the right loopholes, and it's crazy. It's really insanity. Like our tax system. You're not going to beat it, so you got to just join the insanity, pay somebody to find all the right like fancy footwork to do.
How long did it take you like so when you really started flipping more aggressively, how long did it take you to have a 100K gross year?
My first 100K gross
Like
year
how
was before I got into Pokemon. I did it in silver
oh
and
okay, because of steins and stuff. Oh, and
I,
coins, okay.
I did it in silver and coins in 2011. Anyone who's in precious metals, the 2011 boom where silver went to 50 an ounce, I did really well during that boom. Largely luck based, like kind of like how 2020 boom was for me with Pokemon. Right place, right time, all that. So yeah, my first 1099 from eBay with six figures was predating Pokemon. First time I did it in Pokemon was like Pokemon alone was a few years in, I think. I used to be a lot lower gross, but higher margins overall. I guess it's fluctuated. Like I do a lot of ultra modern that is high gross, very low margins. In 2020, the ultra modern was like high gross and high net because it was just absurdity. But yeah, now it's like it's a good blend. It's some of this stuff is like when these things hit tens, this is gross high margins. This is like turning a $2 card the time that I put it away in the box into, I'm sure some of these are like $700, $800. Like if the Rayquaza or if the Mewtwo or some of these random ones hit the 10. That's
Yeah,
a
I'm
very
waiting for it to
high
show up on the
margin.
screen.
Yeah.
So now, now would you say that like you've scaled the business? Oh, the Metagross, yeah. Um, now that you've scaled your business up, would you say that it's primarily just about volume now? Like, are you willing to accept 10%, 15% just to kind of like keep money moving? Is it more of a volume play now that it's a full-time business, whereas before, like when it was maybe part-time or you were flipping and collecting, were you just more likely to like sit on something longer because you could afford to sit on it longer to wait for a bigger margin? Or yeah, if that makes sense.
It's very dependent on what it is. Pretty soon you're gonna see a Rayquaza come up, Delta species. Binder painful. But um yeah, it's coming up right now. I've got the stream on my other screen.
Yeah, I saw it.
Very dependent on what it is. I'm doing some things with a 1 or 2% margin. I'm doing some things with 1,000% margin. Obviously, like if I could fill my day, if I could fill my whole day in time with the higher margin stuff, I would do only that. But like you do the best stuff, the highest margin stuff as much as possible, priority one, and then you backfill your time to fill out your day with like the lower stuff. It's always a balance. It's always multi-level optimization problem. Like optimize each card, optimize your time, and sometime honestly, like maximum optimization of a card might not be selling it for the most money possible. Like if you can sell it today raw for 20, or you can spend 18 to grade it and sell it for 60 in a year. Like sometimes it's better to just take that bird in the hand today, put that money into something else. Like optimization always isn't max dollars. It's a combination of dollars and time and cash flow, and it's very much a multivariable differential equation problem.
So could you see yourself ever going back to like what you were doing, or do you feel comfortable enough now and like what's going on that you're just gonna be able to stick it out? And because I mean I've seen even since, you know, like getting back into the hobby, like I've watched you and Nick and Z and G, like I've watched you guys like all level up, and it seems like it's just continuing, you know, to head that way. Like, you know, Z's got really nice backdrop now, and he's doing the live streams with the auctions and stuff like that. And I really think that the people that can kind of like weather the storm and adapt to like the changing market are going to, assuming the hobby like continues to do well, and assuming that, you know, the economy kind of like pans out and chills out a little bit, it seems like people are gonna be doing good moving forward. Yeah, like
Yeah,
what's your outlook, I guess?
yeah. So my dad, he's been self-employed most his life. For a short period of me being in high school and then college, he worked for a college, actually, not the one I went to, but he's a mechanic welder. He does a few different things like handyman type stuff. He got a job at a college just because of the benefit that they would pay for half my college wherever I went, and it was like the 5 or 6 most miserable years of his life, as far as like he hated the people he worked for. I mean, he has great friends today that were his coworkers then, so he made great friends from it some, but like I think I have a similar personality to him in that I don't do working for someone else really well. Just my personality, I don't do the politic game. I hate politics, and it's so much of like climbing the ladder in those spaces, and it's frustrating. Um, when I left, and it's been a year now, I intend to never work for anyone ever again. And I don't know that I'm 32 right now. I don't know that I'll be self-employed Pokemon for the next 30, 40 years, but I'm pretty confident I'll figure something out. Like I could go my own private engineering firm, chemical engineer, consulting, something like that. I could who knows? Like, I never would have guessed 10 years ago when I started my chemical engineering job that I'd be doing Pokemon full time. But like, I'm pretty sure I'll find something. There's a lot of ways to make money out there, not selling your time to someone else. So yeah, that's kind of my goal, and it's a very achievable goal too. Like how where I live, fairly low cost of living, how my family lives, pretty low key lifestyle, not like Pokemon aside, not like major consumer spending type stuff. I have a family of 4 and we live on under 50 grand a year. Which some people might hear that and they think like, oh, my whole household doesn't make that. Like that's a lot of money, and it is. That's less than, I think that the median household income these days is like 60. So we're spending like decently well under the median household income, and we're earning substantially more than that and saving the balance. So we're putting ourselves in a position where I'm pretty confident, unless something major happens health wise or whatever. I can definitely like do my own thing the rest of my life if I want to. One thing I should say too, I guess just advertise for my future, either this Saturday or next Saturday night, I'm going to do a live stream. So I did a live stream back in March, my first live stream ever, which was amazing. This has been amazing today too. That was 1 year on YouTube. I'm coming up on 1 year of quitting my job. So this Saturday is 1 year from when they walked me out. I put in my 2-week notice, and after 1 week, they walked me out. And then they paid me for the full 2 weeks that I gave notice. So like this Saturday is the day they walked me out. And then next Saturday is the last day I was formally paid on the books as a chemical engineer. So one of the two.
What do you mean, like walked you out? Like security came and like made sure you were gonna leave, or like what?
It wasn't contentious like that. It was basically just like, hey, it was. I don't want to get into like too nitty gritty, but like I mostly trained everybody. I said, hey, here's all these files. Here's all those files. Here's how you do XYZ. I trained like my boss basically how to do my job because they didn't have an immediate replacement for me. But yeah, they're just like, after a week, I think it sprung on them as like kind of a surprise, and I think they didn't want me talking to too many people on like, hey, I'm quitting my job to make more money selling Pokemon cards. When they know someone is heading out the door, I think it's just like bad for morale for those people to like be talking to people who are stuck in the prison. So it's like my freedom date was coming. So they just like, my boss and my boss's boss came to me, hey, grab the rest of your stuff, like be packed up by the end of the day today. We appreciate you showing us everything, and like we might call you in the next week if anything comes up, but go home, enjoy your next week off. Good luck in your next future endeavors. I didn't even tell them what I was going to do, but I mean, some people knew, the people that I was close friends with, but yeah, they no security, no anything like that. It was just go on home, enjoy your last week. You're still on the payroll, but you're not coming in, which was great. It was a week vacation. I mean, I got into Pokemon.
Free money, why not?
Yeah. So yeah, for that week there, I was killing it. I worked. I probably did take, I don't even remember. I probably took a few days off, but I was like making my full engineering pay, working a full day Pokemon. It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to do a live stream to commemorate like 1 year full time. I love, like, last week I hung out with Radar. This week I'm hanging out with you. Great. But like, I definitely ignore the chat way more. I know when I did my first live stream, I literally, the whole chat I engaged with the YouTube chat. I answered every question. I was like proud of myself how well I kept up with it. And I think that's what I'm gonna do for the 1 year live stream. Just me in the chat, going through whatever anyone wants to talk about. Great time. But I love these weeklies too. Like having you here when I'm sorting cards, and like I go grab a binder, you keep things filled in. Like it's great to have someone else on too, like just to backfill and so that it's not dead air. Like when I'm looking at these cards, you're talking and I'm talking, like we're having a conversation, we're bringing in chat some here and there too. This is definitely a great format as well.
Yeah, I think it's a little easier to keep up with chat. Like it's just the nature of what this is, like going through doing a submission, you know what I mean? Like it's easier when you just having like a back and forth conversation and you're not like trying to also like get work done or whatever to then like look over a chat and be like, "Oh, so and so saying this." I literally just finished the submission, which is like perfect timing cuz we can wrap up here in a minute, but for 50 for this chunk of 18, I'm sending 56 cards. Um, and it looks like for 56 cards insured return shipping is going to be $50.75. So not horrible, not too bad. I'm going to break it up. Like I said, I'm going to break the submission up into like 3 chunks. I don't know. Maybe it'd be more worth my time to just send everything at once, but I don't know. I'm worried. Like, what if I get a grader that's in a bad mood or whatever? But
Yeah, I mean the
yeah,
opposite is also there too. Like, what if you get that easy
yeah,
10 grader who just had a great night, throws tens on everything?
yeah, that's true. I mean, I think most of this stuff here I can start going through. I just got to keep these in proper order. But most of these I think are like they have good shots at tens. At nines, I probably still make profit, but um I'm worried that like a lot of people that are a lot bigger than me are going to be, like undercutting. So I'm just yeah, trying to get it out there. I've watched a lot of cards like these, especially these fan clubs. Like when these first started popping up on like PWCC and stuff, because they were so low pop, people were paying like crazy prices for them. And now, because like more have hit the market, they've dropped a good amount, especially the Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm just interested to see where like demand goes. It's not so much like when people are like, "Oh, like is the Pokemon market doing good?" It's like tons of people could be here and be having like a good time. And the market could still be like eating complete doo-doo. You know what I mean? Because there's just too much supply. Like people can really love and enjoy the hobby and be collecting and finishing their collections out and stuff like that, but there could just be like too many cards for the amount of demand that there is, and I think people forget that sometimes. But then, you see stuff there's like 4,000 copies of it graded or whatever, and it's still selling for $20 to $50, every day, multiple times a day. So I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I don't know. I'm all over the place too. I'm trying to. I made you bigger. I'm trying to like restructure to make things show easier. But
Okay. I got to get a better webcam. Like you can't even see the hollow on a lot of these, but I'm kind of ghetto. And then like I got to get better. How do you like organize stuff? You use those 5 rows or dude, I have like my little dining room table has become basically like my card and video game
yeah,
haven.
I use the monster boxes. The ones that hold 5,000, and then the ones that hold 3,000, and then I have a ton of these. The one or 800 or 1,000 count boxes. I just rated one more binder. I'm gonna rate them all at some point, probably off stream or maybe next week. But yeah, I just pulled my legends from Heart Gold Soul Silver. I have the Ho-Oh and Lugia. And then I just pulled all the Heart Gold Soul Silver Unleashed Hollows, which again are just like cards that you don't see as much. Cards that when I see them, I really, it's like, man, I deal with so much WotC, and I love WotC. I love WotC. I love Modern. I love Pokemon cards in general. But to just see something that I don't see as often is really fun and enjoyable. Yeah, like Ho-Oh Legend. I think this is probably the one. Some of these are probably the ones that I pulled when I opened these boxes. Because even like
Oh yeah.
back then, legends and primes and those weren't even worth grading then. Some of them are still like almost hardly worth grading.
Yeah, it's weird. The legends I feel like are kind of slept on a little bit. Um, those are really cool cards to me. So, and I mean to get the 10 set, like obviously you have to get 2 cards. In Japanese, Colson actually told me like in Japanese they came with both in the pack, so you didn't ever have to deal with getting hit with just like the top or bottom of a Pokemon.
Oh,
So
I
that's
didn't
kind
even
of
know
cool.
that.
But
I did open some
yeah.
VMAX Climax recently, and like when I opened the Morpeko V Union, all 4 pieces were in there. That is
Mhm.
interesting how they do that.
Didn't you grade like some Pikachu V unions at CGC and sell them for like 200 bucks or something?
I graded like the nines and the nine. I think the 9.5s are listed for like 19.99, and they're not selling the 9.5s. The flat tens I sold for like 100 a piece, and then the perfect tens I sold for like 250 a piece of $1 promo. Oh, lit-
Jesus, dude. Oh
literally
my God.
one fourth of a V Union promo Pikachu that's $1. Yeah, 250. Crazy. So CGC is still very much a
Such
play.
a Yeah, that's such a lick, dude. That's
Yeah,
crazy. I mean, to be fair though, were those hard to get in like perfect 10 condition because they came in like the plastic shell, or were they all in pretty good condition?
I sent like 10 or 12 of each, and I feel like I didn't have that hard of a time finding gradable ones going through the stack. It they were
Okay.
pretty. I forget exactly how they held them in, but over the years I think they've gotten better at putting them in.
So you broke down your distributor product basically to get those promos out,
Yep.
and then are you sending the packs to Troll and Toad, or are you just like selling those on eBay, or what? What's the deal with that?
Sometimes I'll do 36-pack lots on eBay, but most of those went to Troll and Toad.
Gotcha. Okay.
ZNG
All
Emporium in
right.
the chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, James.
Yeah, man. I
Even though
no,
I
go
got
ahead.
nines on a bunch of them, like I bulk sold the nines for 13 bucks a piece or 12 bucks a piece, and then I sold the perfect tens for 250. I sold the tens for 100, so I was not punished. Even though like the tens still went for more than the grading fee. Punishment will be on the horizon though, for sure. I mean, some people got punished. You almost had to try to get punished to date. Like some people have been, but it would have been hard to. I think they were trying to get punished.
Dude, you're so close to 2000, 1994. If anybody is in here watching right now and you're not subscribed, we need 6 people, dude. 6 people to get to 2K. That'd
Six
be
people,
awesome.
and I'll go grab like 10 generations packs, and I'll turbo rip them. I've got to be done by
Hey,
4:30.
yo.
But yeah, I'll turbo rip them, and I'll give them away to somebody in the comments. I don't know how to do. I don't think I can do like a giveaway for the live stream chat. I don't believe. But I could do one for the comments
If you
afterwards.
leave like
Like,
a comment. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
next week's live stream, I could have it queued up so that whoever leaves the comments on today's, I could or maybe even again, I don't know if it'll be this Saturday. Somebody just unsubbed. I don't know if it'll be this
No.
Saturday. I
Oh
I
my
don't know if it'll
God.
be this Saturday or if it'll be next Saturday, but I'll do another live stream too. And maybe I'll title that 1 year since I quit my job, 2K sub live stream, whatever. I don't know. It'll be a combination of hopefully both things at once. Pokemon DNA, you missed a lot of nice Deoxys in this stream. I've got a lot of EX
Yeah.
era. I'll try to do a recap in like a minute or two. But yeah, when I opened the stream, I talked about how I had my sub count on stream. And I'm like, yeah, let's see if we can get that number up to 2K. And like 4 people unsubbed all at once. And they resubbed like a minute later, but it was funny. I'm like, I don't know if that live counter, if I set it up right, if it's actually working. But like 4 people immediately unsubbed. It was so funny. Oh man.
Come on, man, we're so close. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on and talking business and all that kind of stuff. I really look up to dudes like you and Nick and Z and G and stuff. And it's just really nice that you guys are always like open and willing to help and don't really have egos or things like that. Yeah, it's definitely like a blessing to be plugged in and to know people uh like you guys, because it definitely gives you a head start, you know, in comparison to the average person that's trying to navigate and trying to get better. So yeah,
Yeah, and
really appreciate
I,
you.
I very much had a head start too, like as far as hopping, like my first video on my YouTube channel was my podcast with Nick, and just immediately, like I had James on the podcast pretty early on, and him sharing it all, and everyone being so supportive and so friendly. These are the best things in the hobby, like the conversations and just hanging out. Really glad you were in chat and hopped on. I've got so many more cards to go through, but I did get through a decent stack. I think these two stacks right here are all going to go to PSA. It doesn't look like we're going to hit the 2K today, but let me drop it one last time in chat. Go sub to Retrospecs on YouTube. He's got a great channel too. Go over, comment on all his latest videos saying that he needs to post more videos.
I know, I really do. I need to get on it. I need to get on it.
Yeah, so go blow him up with likes and comments and subs. Tell him to post more, and then he'll actually have to do it. But yeah, I'm gonna do a quick like turbo recap of everything that I got for submission today. There's a Deoxys.
All right, sweet. Yeah, wait like 20 seconds. Well, I guess you don't have to, but I'm
Yeah.
watching the catch up.
Yeah, I'll just have to say like 20 seconds after I see it, I'll have to say it so that you can see it. Then the YouTube chat will be like, what's going on here? He's showing Ditto Pikachu from Delta Species, but he's talking about Deoxys.
I love that Meganium from Delta Species.
So many beautiful, like for me, like forgotten cards. I opened a box of all these years ago, but I just don't interact with these on a day-to-day basis. Like I never see them. And it's just so cool to see so many all at once. I've got a lot of work to do on the PSA submission forms. There's another Deoxys DNA. Those Holon Phantom ones, Gyarados, man.
You got some bangers, dude. This stuff's gonna do really good.
And the sick thing is, I had it in 2010, and I could have and should have sent it out. I should have sent it out in 2020, but oh well. 18's gonna be fine on most of this.
Yeah, man. You got some Deoxys reverses. You got Swampert, Blaziken first appearance. Delta Gyarados, like, yeah. You got some fire. You got some fire for sure. We're so close, dude. 3 more subs.
Oh,
3
man.
more subs till 2K.
I just hit 1999.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, it just hit 2000.
Man. Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go grab celebrations packs.
There's gotta be something I can open, right? Let me see.
Wow,
I don't really
2005 now. So
Really?
I just
Okay.
yeah. I think all my loose packs are gone, and I don't want anyone to think I weighed them or anything crazy. So I just went and grabbed Lance's Charizard collection. So I'll rip that quick.
Okay. All
Really,
right, and then we can
really
tap out.
appreciate. Yeah, really appreciate everyone hanging out. I'm really looking forward on a weekly basis doing these live streams. I did grab 3 Hidden Fates packs too. I'll probably draw 2 winners.
Ooh, okay.
I'll probably draw 2 winners just to spread the love. So it'll either be a next week's stream or on my live stream. I probably won't do this Saturday night. I'll probably do next Saturday night for like 1 year full time. But I'll do like 2 random comment pickers. When this video finalizes, when this video gets posted to YouTube, go and leave a comment to be entered into this giveaway. One winner will get the contents of the 3 Hidden Fates packs, and then the other winner will get the contents of the Charizard V collection. Promos, everything, all the bulk. I don't need to keep any of it. Non-holo there. I'll keep the code cards too. Hopefully we get at least 1 holo in these 3 Hidden Fates packs. Or sorry, 1 shiny vault or something.
Yeah, you're gonna pull the Charizard. Come on.
I hope so. Reverse holo energy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. 0 for 2.
I look like an idiot because like I have to wait and see 20 seconds behind. So if you pull something crazy, I'm gonna be like, yeah, or like,
Yeah.
did you get something good or what?
It is a weird dynamic in that you hear my voice live, but you you don't get my. So yeah, not much to react to. But there was if Jake wins, he'll be happy. He adds 1 baby shiny to his collection. So $45 of Hidden Fates packs turned into. I'll have to throw a slab in with that or something, because that turned into about $4 worth of singles. Hopefully we can hit the Charizard reprint in celebrations.
Okay, I just got to you pulling the Froakie or
Yeah.
Frogadier.
Frogadier.
Frogadier. Jesus Christ, man. If
So,
they
yeah.
ruin Quaxley, I'm gonna be so disappointed, man. Quaxley better have a good evolution line. But
I'll just never evolve him. But yeah, hopefully he gets something
honestly,
solid.
Even if it's a common, I might express it to PSA for the memes just to have the first PSA 10.
It would be hilarious. So we got a Battle
rookie.
Styles and a Darkness Ablaze. Thank you for all the super chats too. I know I missed the first one. Terrible YouTuber. So we've got Jonathan W. Big congrats. Most slept on Pokemon channel out there. Hopefully no more. Secret Shop Cards. Criminal that it took this long for 2K. Have you seen my thumbnails? Have you seen my titles? Up until the past week, I've been slacking. I'm trying to do the YouTube thing better, though. Peaked at Shoe says, so happy for you. Can we get a loud Dan? Woohoo. Woohoo. Oh, man. So here's, let's see what we get. Oh, looks like we got something. What did I just open? Battle Styles. Oh, there we go. Retro with the 20-second delayed reaction to the big Rainbow Rare. Modern.
I'm like, okay, what Rainbow Rares are even in Battle Styles? Like Pokemon Breeder Trainer or something. I don't even know. Like it's
a Flapple. It's a Flapple.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Then we got a Lugia non-holo rare.
Tier.
Yeah. Now we got our 3 celebrations packs. Yeah, you just saw me open the Flapple, right?
Oof, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
It's so ugly.
We're getting some hitters in celebrations. I won't spoil it for retro. Yeah.
Did you pull a Charizard?
Not that big.
Are you still grading? Are you still grading like Charizards and like Lance's Charizards and stuff, or is that play just completely cooked?
I've not graded any of them. I've not graded, or I graded a little bit through CGC, but not much. No, we're 2 for 3. I have 4 celebrations packs, and I got 2. You just saw the Blastoise, right?
Waiting.
You might be a little behind live because I just saw on my stream.
Yeah, okay, now.
Wow, we're getting hits. We're getting hits.
Are you subbing any of this? Oh no, this is all a giveaway. I forgot.
Yeah. Last pack. Let's see what we can get. Oh, I went 3 out of 4 though with Classic Collection, which is pretty solid. So yeah,
Ray was trying to give me financial advice the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, 25th anniversary Charizard. I think it's a good long-term play." And I'm just like, "Bro, you're smoking dust." And he's like, "Every base set Charizard does well." He might be right, honestly.
He probably is.
Yeah, people are goofy enough to pay for that in perpetuity, probably.
Yeah, so that's that'll be two separate giveaways, and just to spice it up to make one of them good, they don't grade them anyways, and it does have a little bit of a corner issue on the paint. I'm gonna give away a Metal Charizard. So first prize Metal Charizard, second prize the
Hey,
celebrations
okay.
openings, and then third prize will be the Frogadier baby shiny with the Hidden Fates pulls. So yeah, really appreciate everyone hanging out. Really appreciate you hanging out, Retro. Go check out
Yeah,
Retrospecs.
man. Thanks for having me on.
Retro's in the Pokenomics Discord, the Patreon. Next Sunday, I'm going to be doing that. So be sure to check out that. Check out the eBay affiliate link below. No cost to you if you're buying anything on eBay. All that good stuff. But yeah, probably next Wednesday or Thursday's live stream, I'll do a 3-choice giveaway. When this video finalizes, go leave a comment and you'll be entered to win this stuff here. Really appreciate everyone getting me here on my ride along to 2K. Any parting words from you before you head to the post office?
Nah, just thanks for having me on. Thanks to the chat for hanging out and subscribing, getting Dan to 2K. Definitely deserves it. One of the harder working dudes in the Pokemon space for sure. Yep, just stay positive. As corny as it sounds, folks, like there's a lot to be happy about. There's a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot of really like cool people to have really good conversations with in this hobby. So yeah, as corny I guess as that is, just yeah, like stay positive, have a good day, and enjoy, I guess.
I like it. And with that, we'll close it out because I do have to get to family time. I'm 7 minutes into OT, and catch 'em all collectibles does not pay time and a half.
All right, man.